learning.
Why,
how to
thank you,
use-
sir.
Just learning how to use these lovely headphones. They're fucking cool.
Sounds good, right? Kenji, oh, don't, hey, stop, Kenji, yo, dude, I'm gonna throw something at you. Stop. Enough. Cut it out. RJ, why you gotta keep coming in here with fresh ink, man?
Bro, next time I got 2 more appointments.
Yeah, well, don't come back.
Well, all right.
Come back when it's come back. Yo, Kenji, stop. No.
He's looking at me like.
Jesus Christ, I can't have the dog licking you the entire podcast. You want this hoodie?
No.
I don't think this will fit you anyway.
He's gonna go in for a bite and grab one of those steaks.
For real, man.
This is gross. It's either my dog or someone's dog licking me. I swear to God.
Dude, what is happening
I don't
right
know.
now?
What do you want me to do? I'm lickable.
Just give him a little. Give him a little.
No,
I know you
I
wouldn't.
can't.
Give him a little
I just
flicky in the
wanna
nose.
Come on.
He's gonna start going after you and biting you though.
He's got it. He's got
yeah.
gnawing on it.
Yeah. He's like, damn, licking tastes good.
Sounds
but
really
I could imagine a nice little bite
nice chunk.
It's like, how many licks did he get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, right.
to get to RJ's meaty ass
It's
try.
funny you should say that, though. I was like 9 years old. I'm walking into my buddy's backyard. I turn the corner, and a fucking Doberman takes a bite out of my ass. I was scarred for life. Like, I kind of had
How
a
long
little
were
bit
you?
of...
How long were you afraid of Dobermans?
I still am. I'm just
Really?
dogs in general. Sometimes if they come at me funny, I'll look to choke him before he comes to bite me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, were you? Were you tasting this good? Because
I don't know. I no. At 9, probably not. No. Can you
Kenji, stop. Hey, enough. Yo, Kenji, stop. Don't make me get mad. Go. Thank you.
Daddy's not playing.
Thank you. Good boy. Jesus Christ. Look at him. Look at him side-eyed at the end of the
got
table.
Eyeball him the
All
next
right.
time he can kind of sneak in and take a lick.
He's like, damn.
That boy.
He's like, I'm definitely gonna come here. I'm not mad at you. I just don't want you to do that.
So freaking cute.
We're gonna lather you up with hand sanitizer.
Is
see if
he
it tastes
here?
bad.
Is he here on every podcast?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we only left him off on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we only left him off on one.
How could you leave him out? I mean,
Well, it was an interesting situation.
Yeah.
was it?
I'll tell you about it
Yeah,
later.
I mean,
yeah.
we could say it. She was cool about
Yeah,
it.
she's all
Okay.
right.
You can embarrass somebody right now?
No, not embarrassed.
We
Lauren.
had what?
Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren. We had Lauren on, and she's an amputee. We didn't know how he was going to react with a prosthetic leg.
A great idea.
John's
Yeah.
actually the one who brought it up.
Very
I didn't
smart.
even think
Yeah.
of it.
Very smart.
Yeah, the
Dogs
last-
are sensitive to stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the last
We
thing
didn't
we
know we were
want is him to be like licking or biting it in the middle of us talking.
yeah.
But she's cool as fuck. I don't think she would really give
No,
a
she's
shit.
dope.
You know what?
She's
I
awesome.
saw
She
that
would probably
podcast. I
joke.
heard. I think she would have been totally cool with it. to be
Yeah.
honest
We would
with
have gone
you.
outside, played fetch.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think that there would have been such a problem with it, but just playing on the
Just in
side of
case.
For a
discretion.
2-hour podcast.
Right. So
Dude, we haven't been back in a couple weeks, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah, holy shit.
It feels weird to do one.
it's odd.
It's really
You guys
odd.
should do this like every week. It should, like
we've been.
something
It's-
yeah.
We've been doing one. We've been doing one every single week. We wanted to do 2 a week. It's just things have still been kind of like,
COVID throws everything off a bit.
yeah, it's just been kind of like weird.
It's tough. Not everybody's comfortable with coming out yet.
Yeah,
I know.
you know what? Generally, the people that we have on the show and the people that we ask to come on, they're all like, "Yeah, fuck it," and
They
then
don't care, yeah.
they come
Yeah.
in with like a half mask. They're like, "Yo, do we have to?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't give a shit." They're like, "Ah, okay, cool."
Take
Good,
that
I
shit
found it
off.
on the
Yeah.
floor.
I mean, listen, it's just been crazy now because work picked up tenfold for me, which is great. I'm happy, super happy.
I get it.
You know, we worked on your project, which is great.
Yeah, you've been hustling. Right
We're gonna
now.
talk. Yeah, we're gonna touch on it. Oh, listen, I'm getting ready for a second lockdown, so I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
it's coming. It's coming. yeah.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to get as much shit as possible under the belt,
Get
and then
it
I'm
in.
supposed to just sit and play Xbox for the next month or two, and then re-hit it again when it
It's-
opens up again.
Yeah, you're planning it very well.
I'm trying to because I didn't plan it right the first time. You know
Well,
what?
nobody did. Nobody knew that was
knew?
coming. Who
What
knew
do
this?
they say you have to have? What is it? How much percentage of your monthly income should you have saved away for like 6 months or 6
Oh,
months
it's like
worth?
33% or something like that. It's some ridiculous number. I don't know what it is.
Who has that?
Nobody did. Yeah, nobody did.
So you're sitting there, and a pandemic comes rolling through, and yeah, okay, some people get unemployment. Okay,
Right.
and great, $1,000 a week, more than a lot of people are making, at their regular job.
Right.
Then that goes away, and then now that
Now what do you do?
hunger of going out getting your clients, going out getting work, it's kind of just like gone for a lot of people,
Yep.
and now everyone's just like, what do I do? They're sitting there with their hands up.
Everybody's fire was out for a while. Sitting at home and waiting for the next bad piece of news, to come up. It slows everybody down. And plus, the amount of businesses and things that have been just not operational right now, It's sad. It's sad to watch. Even my business. I mean, you guys know I own a protein cafe,
Yeah.
a smoothie place inside Crunch in Belmore.
Yeah.
Although the gym is open, the amount of people that come into the gym is just not the same.
It's down.
It's really down, and the gyms aren't the only place hurting. It's everywhere. Restaurants, bars. I mean, everything except like the major big box stores, I guess, are the ones that are really hurting. It sucks. It really
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, the other one's thriving.
Yeah.
They're making a killing right now.
Oddly enough.
They've been open
yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah, I know. In a really weird way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What pissed me off the most about that is they had like the heroes pay for the employees that were working through the pandemic, where they pretty much gave everybody a pay cut, like a $2 pay cut.
Yep.
Meanwhile, these companies brought in more money than they ever fucking have.
With that strange,
But we're gonna give you a
weird
pay cut.
incentive. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's evil. It's almost like they don't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, the way it was positioned, it just looked better.
Yeah.
And when you really look into it, and when you really, it's like, wow, you're really getting abused right now. You're getting taken advantage of, and nobody even knows it. I mean, it's part of the bigger picture is I think our entire society is just completely in the dark. They're just uneducated. They don't know what's going on. They're just confused. And they make decisions, or they don't even make decisions. I don't know. It's just
They just believe it's a believe everything they're told type of mentality.
100%. 100%.
What do we call that? We call that sheep.
Yeah.
Think for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not hard. I try so hard to stay away from political discussions, political debates, because no matter what,
Tough.
dude, you post one thing and the fucking keyboard warriors just like swarm that one
Jump
post.
on you. Yeah,
It's
I know.
crazy. I posted
Yeah.
this. I posted this morning. I posted Dan Bongino. I like him. I think the dude just says what the fuck
Speaks
he wants.
well, yeah. He's got a good show.
I like
yeah.
people that just no sugarcoating. That's how I am. That's
Right.
how you are. That's how you are.
Yep.
I don't have time to sugarcoat. I don't have time to pet your ego. Oh, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through.
Bullshit,
You know,
man.
even he just got diagnosed with fucking cancer,
Cancer, yeah.
lymphoma, and he's like, we cut it out. He's like, I went up to New York, cut it out, and that is it. Like, we have a treatment plan
We
and
move on,
process,
yeah.
and we keep moving. Like other people be like, oh, I'm sick, and like,
Woe is me.
yeah, just like, oh, send me love, send me likes, send me followers. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, so he posted about this Biden article going around,
Yeah.
and you can't not share it.
You can't.
You can't not share it because what's happening with social media,
It's disgusting.
censoring everybody and taking posts down and deciding what is factual and what isn't, that I'm not cool with.
Yeah.
And I said at the top of my
It's been
post,
happening for a long time.
a long
yeah.
time, it's just subtly. And now,
Yeah.
now it's very blatant.
Now this is big
They don't give
situation.
a fuck anymore.
I put it big bold, big fucking all caps letters at the top of the post. I said, I don't care who you're voting for. I said, read it again before you comment because I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you come out of the woodwork like, well, Biden rocks. I don't care if my friend comes out and he's like, oh, Trump is the best. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That's not what this is about. What this is about is big tech censoring people and not allowing freedom of speech to go out. I don't give a hell. I don't give a fuck if you say that something is not factual. I don't care if you say that something is factual. I want to do my research. I want varying opinions. Isn't that what discussion in human life is all about?
It's the way it's been set up. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. And unfortunately, they have so much control over what millions of eyeballs get to see. And it'll all come out. I think it's all going to get unturned right now.
What was wild was the guy who is the communications director of Facebook, who said, we are deeming this through fact checkers not factual.
Right.
We're taking these posts down and slowing it down. He's part of the Democratic
Yeah, I know.
convention.
Yeah, who wonder how that happened.
Come on, what are we doing out here? But if and listen, I don't like. We say this every podcast. I don't like anyone. I don't fuck with anyone.
Hate everyone equally.
John, say it again. What happens on November? Was it 3rd is election day? What happens on November 4th?
Who the fucking knows? But I'm pretty sure I'm going to work on Monday.
He's going to work. Doesn't
right.
matter.
Yeah.
So we're all going to work. Yeah, policy. And then you get the people that'll say, well, you should care because policies change and this change. 1,000% correct.
That is
you
true,
should
yeah.
care because I know that's the other side of the argument that before they even say it, I'll say it for them.
Right.
I get it. But at the same time, keep that shit to yourself. Keep who you're going to vote for to yourself. Keep what policies you want to. Just because you have a platform on social, like we have this platform right here, people can take what we say with a grain of salt.
Yep.
You can listen to what John says about training. You can listen to what you say about training and, advice with combining marijuana medicinally with training, like,
Yeah.
and you could listen to me about how I feel about my industry and what I do and training. You could listen to all of us and take bits and pieces and say, I like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. That is the beauty
Yep.
of a mind. That you can say,
And free
I agree
speech.
with, and free
Yes.
speech.
Right.
I agree with that. I don't agree with that. Cool. Doesn't mean you got to blast it, cancel him, fuck him, this and that. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are just part of the problem of making a culture soft.
There's some extremists out there that are really, really jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to that stuff.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It really
It's-
bothers me. It
it's
makes me
tough.
irritated. And I try to just, dude, I set time limits on Facebook because you get consumed. And I'm
You get
trying.
sucked in.
I'm so not trying to sit here all day and just be read and then get every scroll you get angrier. You're like,
tough.
oh,
Yeah,
what?
I know.
Dude, no one is using every side. No, both sides.
Both sides are just
It's
twisted
clickbaity
right
too.
now, yeah.
Here's a crazy example. I follow this page on Facebook for the longest time. It's just called "I Love My Dog," and they used to post a bunch. Fucking go figure, right? It's a
Right.
great business model.
Go ahead, sorry.
But they used to just post like all these nice stories of this happened, this happened. The past like 4 months, every single thing they post is like an animal abuse story, or like this guy left his dog chained for weeks. I go, well, why the fuck do I want to see this?
Dude, there was
And
a
then at the
group I
bottom it'd be
belonged to.
like, oh, by the way, he got adopted. I'm like, oh, well, great, but come on.
Dude, there was a group I belonged to that was
so
so
strange.
like that. Somebody invited me in. There was a dog years ago, I guess. I remember vaguely. There was a dog that got abused. We're gonna call him Milo. That's not his real name, but I have no idea what his
Okay.
real name is.
Yeah.
Justice for Milo. It was the group I got invited to. I was like, okay. Out
Justice for Milo.
of nowhere, dude, I'm getting like the last couple of months, like you, non-stop animal abuse shit all over my timeline from that group. I'm like, dude, I got to get out of this, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just ruining. As a dog dad, as someone who loves animals,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't watch this shit. It's bad.
And then they throw it on you. Like,
Of course they
Yeah.
do, because they get their ad revenue.
Right.
Because you keep scrolling, you're
I know.
pinned down on emotions.
And then it fucks up your work too because you're sitting there getting some work done. You go, now I got to pet my fucking dog.
it's almost like I could see this happening with some of these bigger tech companies. I mean, the way they operate and the way they manipulate things to have our eyes privy to certain stuff, that stuff has to come out. Including the censorship
Social
and all
Dilemma.
that stuff.
Have you seen that movie yet?
No, I haven't.
Netflix. I don't want to cut you off.
No, please.
Netflix. The movie is called Social Dilemma. I'm probably going to watch it later this afternoon.
It probably explains a lot, right?
It talks about ex guys from Facebook
Yeah.
talking about how people are used, like they use these algorithms. It's like, yeah, okay, you're looking through your social feeds and this and that, and people at Facebook are using your likes and dislikes to throw shit at you.
Wow.
And they're psychologically, they're trying to get you emotionally more invested because then you spend more time on there, but you don't really notice the ads on the side that they're getting billions for
Pounding
in a
into
year.
your brain, yeah.
It's
It's amazing.
it's just very. I mean, that's one of the things I posted early on when all of the movements started happening with black people, people of color. I don't know what whatever the political way
Whatever's
to say
right
it is.
today.
Right.
I call them.
Yeah.
I call everybody brothers and sisters. I don't really give a fuck.
too.
Doesn't matter to
No,
me.
no, no.
I don't care what
It's
color
always
you
been
are.
like that for me.
But
Yeah.
like when the movement started happening, and I just posted, I said, just with everything going on, the pandemic, now the racial injustice and justices that you're trying to do, be careful what you post because they're going to use the algorithm against you.
Right.
If you say you're for Trump, they're going to post Biden stuff. If you say you're for Biden, they're going to post Trump stuff because they want, it's not social networking. It's social clashing.
Right.
That's what the fuck it is. It's the ability to get people to prey on emotions and get everybody to not join hands in a happy circle.
Oh, no.
It's
Not at all.
meant for them to sit you down, get invested in it, spend hours battling random fucking people that don't matter.
That's right.
I mean, throughout the pandemic, the amount of people that I'd see on articles, we can't open up, we can't do this, it's not safe. You want to kill my children, this and that. They were all fucking people in the Midwest that have nothing going on. You motherfuckers are sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
Right. I
You're
know.
loving this unemployment shit because
Yeah.
guess
Sitting
what?
back
Your cost of
collecting
living
checks.
was $30 before the pandemic. Now it's $10 because you're getting $20 a month in fucking unemployment. It's
Yeah.
crazy, dude.
My God. I know. It's pathetic. It's actually pathetic.
I mean,
We have, like I said before, we have an uneducated, just really, it's just community in our society is sad. They're lazy. I mean, let's call it what it is. Everybody just would rather sit home, not take care of themselves. I mean, you know how many people have come up to me if my mask is pulled down or like, and they say like, hey, you might want to pull your mask up, and I'm like, do you want me to go through the last 5 years of your health habits that haven't been good, and maybe we can sit down and talk about that, like, because I know I've been taking really good care of myself, and I'm probably the best person to have sitting next to you, to be quite honest with you. I want to say that so bad, and I just mind my business. I
you just
cover
mind
my
your-
face
yeah,
and
you
I
mind
walk
your
away,
shit.
and I just non-confrontational as much as I can. It's just so hard.
I was shooting in Brooklyn for that chick Eba.
Yes,
So I was
remember.
shooting in Brooklyn, and when her and I were walking by, middle of the street, wide open street, water on the right, parks where there's no one around us.
Right.
Some dude walks past us, and he goes, "What's the matter? You guys don't put masks on?"
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about? There's no one near me.
Mind your business.
I'm like, dude, keep walking. Why don't you go talk to everybody that's sitting over there that doesn't have a mask? You gonna come at me? Like, I don't like people that try to incite mini issues.
Yeah, I know.
I had some douchebag in a Prius behind me yesterday. You guys will enjoy this.
Man, here we go.
It's
I know where this is going.
It's
Is that the story right there?
That could be one right
It
all
could've
in
been.
itself.
It could have been. It's super quick. We were just it's just people that incite riots and just think that they're the center of the universe, and you're not.
Right. They just have nothing else going on.
We
No.
were nothing.
Sorry, God.
Light to light, literally like 2 or 3 lights. He did this. I was second in line at the light, and he was behind me. So I'm behind somebody at the light. Every single time, I'm not joking. Green. Bam, bam, bam. I went like I let the first 2 slide.
Right.
I let the first 2 slide.
You popped out?
But the caveman DNA
Oh, no.
starts boiling on the inside. I'm just like, I'm gonna rip this guy out of his fucking car. if
You
he
know, they
doesn't
have a
shut up.
horrible word that's attached to that I'm not going to use right now.
Oh,
And it's got a very, very controversial term inside it.
yeah.
You know what that
I
is.
use it quite often
Yeah.
because I
Right,
hang
we
out with
all
British
do,
people. It's cunty behavior.
too, yeah.
I'll say it. I'll say that
too, yeah.
one. I'll say that one.
Okay.
So, third time, I literally stuck my head out the car and I looked back at him. I go, "Yo, bro, relax. It just turned green." And then he came up to me next to me at the light, and he's in the car with his family.
Oh, come
I'm
on.
like, this is what you're doing. You're
Talking
like,
smack.
You're
Yeah.
you're gonna be like this guy. Like every light, a millisecond, it turns green. My engine can't even. I can't shift that fast. Can you give me a second to shift?
It's amazing how confrontational people are nowadays. And I don't think it has. I mean, I used to
The
chalk it-
pandemic amplified it.
escalated
Oh, yeah.
tremendously. I mean, I thought it was about people being cooped up in their house and just being edgy and. No, I just think people are becoming really angry at just everything that's going on, and the confrontations are just happening, and they're on edge. You know, maybe everybody should start smoking more weed. That's what they need to
Oh,
start
that's-
doing.
There we go.
That's the transition.
That's the transition into that conversation. Wow. Yeah. Well, everybody knows that
Everybody's just fucking pissed off.
I'm pro cannabis, and you know that's pretty much where my next business is headed. You know, that's
So
why
before-
we got
Talk
together.
about it.
So before we
We'll get
get,
into that.
before
We'll
we
get
get
into
into
that.
that,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Before we get into that, like we start every guest coming on.
Oh
That's
no.
right.
Met my man at Bev's.
Yeah,
course.
Met my man at
that's right.
Bev's.
That's right.
I mean, we can't stress it enough.
Nah.
Although the gym is a place to go and work out and
that
get
place.
into shape, it's also a really great networking ability to just meet some really cool people.
I have an entire family that I've created in the fitness community from Bev's, and you guys being 2 of them. Like it's amazing how many people you get.
so many backgrounds.
Yeah.
and that's what I love
It's
about
incredible.
it. It's a
Every
melting
angle
pot.
of life.
It's incredible.
I constantly say that all the time. It's like you could have a fucking serial killer on the other side of the room, and you dab like you wouldn't even know. You just dab everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone's just too cool as
Yep.
fuck. Everyone's just there for the same reason. You have millionaires and fucking I'm sure billionaires that have gone there, and you have
Yeah.
The Rock comes every now and then.
Yep.
You know, like you just
Every
there's,
year.
There's like
Yeah.
different celebrities in all areas, and then there's the blue collar guys, and then there's the housewives, and it's
Everybody's
fucking
mixed
nuts.
up, and then you got some of the old timers that have been there forever.
I love the old
Yeah.
timers.
Those-
They always have the
of course,
absurd
the
outfits.
best.
Absurd outfits.
They sit at the front. They really don't do shit.
Yeah.
They just want to talk.
you're always
and hang
happy to
out.
see 'em.
I love them.
Exactly.
They're the best. You know, I joined Bev's when I was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 48 now. That's
He
30 years ago.
Who is this
Yeah.
guy? Is this
had a
Andre?
threat.
He comes on our podcast and lies to us about his age.
Bullshit.
Bullshit is this?
Okay, I'm lying. Anyway, so you know, Steve and Bev, you know, Frank Zeppi was a big, gigantic, you know, bodybuilding icon back then, and you know, he was one of the bigger dudes in there. And I remember looking up to Frank all the time, and I had worked with Frank in the modeling industry at some point. And so, you know, Frank was like that guy at Bev's, And then the NFL guys would come in there and forget it. It was like that place you needed to work out. Like, and not everybody gets that experience. Like, I don't know. They need to. A lot more guys that are in the fitness industry need to take that step and just go over there and take a workout because it changes everything. I mean, it did for me. I mean, what about you?
I mean, I know John
Yeah.
will speak on it, but I went there, man, and you have a lot of people that we constantly say, like, they say, oh, Bevs is intimidating. Every time we talk about it, I get it, because when I went there, I was this chubby little kid. I'm still a chubby little kid.
Stop.
But I mean, I went there not really knowing how to work out, and something just being in there just makes you want to go, not just get through your workout, but go 150.
Yeah.
And you
said.
just you want to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Like we went there the other day, and the masks suck, but obviously I'm gonna do my part in making sure Steve's business doesn't get affected by
Right.
my bitching.
Mask up. Yep.
Mask up. I mask up. And listen, he goes around and he's snapping off on people, and I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
He needs to make sure his business doesn't get affected by this.
I mean,
And I don't blame him. Steve's always been like that. He's
Yeah.
one of the best gym owners, and I've come across tons of them. I mean, tons of them. I've worked in maybe 30 or 40 gyms, visited tons of them across the country. Steve is by far the best gym owner that I've seen operate a facility ever. Like, he just has a certain standard that he holds to his gym, the way you treat his equipment, everything, the way you operate, the way you pay for things. Like, he just operates a great fitness business. And people come there and they respect it. So they respect the gym, they respect the equipment, and they respect him.
yeah.
People get lazy, and he's one of the only like owners. They just go, cool, I'm collecting money. I'm going to sit back in my office now. But there's not a day he's not out there walking around making sure everything's okay. And more importantly, the standard is always upheld.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, always.
If you haven't gotten snapped off on Steve at least once, you're not a Bevs guy.
No.
He's got to crack the whip at least once
of
on you, and
course.
you're like, oh my bad. I'll never forget. I was doing seal rows, but to do the seal rows, I had to put three benches together. So I had to put two of the flat benches on each side and put a flat bench on top. And as I'm doing it, like right after I finished, he goes, "Yo, Nick," he's like, "Come on, man, you're gonna rip the fucking leather." I was like, "All right, my bad."
You knew that was
I
coming.
I knew it was coming. I was like, "How many sets can I get in
Build a
before?"
contraption like that. He's like, what the hell is this guy doing?
And now that I own all my gym equipment, I'm like,
you
damn, I get
appreciate
it.
it, yeah.
I get it.
Now you know.
This shit's not cheap.
No,
I
no,
get
it's
it.
not.
So until you've had the whip cracked on you, you ain't a Bevs guy.
No, definitely not. It's funny. That is how we met at Bev's. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. Like,
I mean, it's crazy.
actually, you shot the first video. I was training clients at the time.
Christina?
Christina was one of my best clients at the time. She was actually one of the ones that had potential to go pro. She actually is pro now.
Yep.
You shot her first video, which was incredible. I mean, the thing came out amazing.
Thank you.
And I always thought the fitness industry itself was just evolving. I mean, you guys know that I'm not training anybody. I retired I guess 2 years ago when I opened up the cafe, the Protein Cafe, and I liked the industry and I liked working at Bev's. We had a fantastic time doing what we did, but I just didn't like where the industry was going. There was a lot of people dying at the time. Although they were all males, there has been a lot of females that have passed away in the industry.
I haven't heard as many females. I guess it's just not as
the problem?
widely publicized.
They
Yeah.
But I know it's there, I'm sure.
Oh, it's there. And yeah, I don't know. I felt hesitant on locking into a full-time commitment to help athletes and advise them, to do things that I know wasn't healthy. I
not
was
the,
kind
not
of
the best
against
decisions.
it was against my values, against my principles at that point. I've been through a lot health-wise. I've competed for years. We all know everybody's taking crap and steroids and et cetera, and all that stuff. You guys talk openly about all that crap.
1,000%.
Yeah, so I went through a bunch of health scares, doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. And I just thought it was, I was best not advising people to do that.
Anything in particular?
What do you mean?
Like health wise? Like that was like a widespread?
I don't
That
necessarily.
a lot of athletes maybe deal with?
I have a heart condition now. I have a defibrillator. I have a weightlifter's heart, they call it. And it's like what's the word I'm talking about? I can't remember what it's called, to be quite honest with you.
Weightlifter's heart, they call it?
Weightlifter's heart, right? So it's what's the your ejection fraction? That's what it is. Your ejection fraction lowers. So when the heart pumps, the blood doesn't get to the rest of the body fast enough. So you go on a medication, you put a defibrillator in to, just in case something happens.
Right.
And I think, maybe potentially some of that steroid use could have, potentially had, something to do with that. And there's probably a million other things that we've done in our life, lifestyle choices that are just poor.
Yeah, well,
Caffeine and all that other stuff, stimulants, pre-workouts. I mean, I'm completely against all that stuff nowadays. I don't drink coffee. I don't take pre-workouts. I don't take pills. Very, very against that. But I am pro-cannabis, and that's, obviously that's why we started getting back together and talking again.
Yeah.
There's so many advantages out there that people just don't know about, and I think there's so many things that are pushed in front of us: alcohol, prescription drugs, cigarettes, all these things and these vices that people use to get through their day or to get through their workouts or whatever that is. And cannabis can be used in lieu of that.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing how many people just don't know about it. And I'll get to the story on how that happened in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, I always preach on here the one ingredient thing. If you're going to eat, make sure it's made of one ingredient. Our bodies are made to break down one thing at a time.
Right.
Pills are made up of 40,000 different things and then processed. Cannabis is just cannabis.
Right.
Maybe it's two different strands, whatever. I don't know nearly as much as either one of you, especially you, RJ. But cannabis to me would be like a salad. If you're going to mix up two different things, guess what? It's lettuce, tomatoes, still one ingredient.
Right.
So let me ask you this:
Shoot.
and this is a side question to segue into what we're going to start talking about. So with heart issues, cannabis doesn't affect the heart like that.
Well, no, it doesn't. I mean, smoking does affect the body.
Okay.
I am not pro, I don't think smoking a joint or hitting bongs and doing blunts and stuff like that. Is that a healthy version of consuming cannabis? Absolutely not. There's 5 different other versions of consumption and inhalation and stuff like that that aren't as damaging as lighting up something at that temperature and inhaling that smoke. We all know that that's not.
That's the downfall of a lot of
Right.
a lot of portion of it.
Exactly. But when you break it down and you start educating yourself, you don't have to use it like that.
So what would you say is a more efficient way for your body, and maybe not efficient, but healthier?
Well, it all depends on the individual, Nick. It really is. And that's why, it's important for people to get out there and get educated on what their options are. This is a consulting business basically that I'm building around this fitness cannabis world right now. It's called New Day Consultant. People are going to look for advice and ways to improve their lifestyle by using cannabis. And right now, there's no resources in the community. There's nothing. I don't even know if you guys know this, but did you know that there's a dispensary, a medical dispensary, in every single borough that we live in right now? Long Island has 5 of them.
Nope.
I had no idea.
Yeah, nobody even knew. They don't advertise. The media doesn't talk about it.
Actually, I do know about one. There's one in Farmingdale.
Yeah. Yep.
What is it called?
God, I just saw it this morning on the ad for it.
And that's how little advertising they do.
Right. Well,
It's right next to Hooters. Is the one I'm talking about.
I know what you're
On
talking-
110, right next to
something
the
botanicals, I think.
right next to the melting pot.
Okay. So I know of the Curaleaf one. That's the one I use in
Okay.
Call Place. There's a few of those. Getting your medical card is not such a difficult thing nowadays. And when I exposed myself to that environment, and I realized how simple it was, and I self-educated. That's pretty much what you do. And if you don't do that, you don't know what your options are. I don't take caffeine. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink alcohol.
Dude, I stopped drinking coffee, any
bad?
caffeine,
How bad?
about a month ago. It's been really fucking rough.
Yeah.
It's been bad. First off, I had severe withdrawal.
Yeah, most people do.
Severe.
Yeah.
And we're talking, because, on a daily basis, I was probably taking probably about 1 gram of caffeine a day.
Yeah.
I was drinking pre-workout, which is about 300 to 400 mgs. And then I was also drinking a super large iced coffee. And I was also drinking 1 to 2 Bang Energy or Rain Energies a day.
Wow.
So if we want to talk about damage to a heart and that freaks me out. I get one a little pinch. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, this is it. I'm going down.
Well, I will tell you this. I mean, I was a big Red Bull guy.
Yeah.
I went through my 30s. I had a tech startup at the time. I was going through a hip replacement. Actually, it's a good reason for me to explain how I got on this whole cannabis trip. So at that point, I was 32, grinding. I mean, I would drink 4 or 5 Red Bulls a day. I had a tech startup called VPT. We were developing a fitness video game with some of the big video game companies. and I had to get a hip replacement. So in the process of getting a hip replacement, I still had to work and get all these meetings done. So I'm getting hyped up on painkillers. So now they're feeding me Oxycontins, Vicodins, and now I'm drinking Red Bulls on top of it to get through work, just to experience, being awake and not feeling pain. You guys know what that feels like. And 6 months later, I'm basically still using the same amount of painkillers, still drinking Red Bulls, and needing this stuff now to pretty much get through my day.
And probably not even feeling it to the
Not
effect
even
you were.
realizing that I was gone. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? So I went to my neurologist, and I was like, listen, I really don't want to take these pills anymore. I don't eat. Like, I get stomach cramps. Like, I'm just a mess. And he advised me to take Marinol.
Marinol?
Marinol. It was 5 milligrams of prescription THC.
Okay.
And that was all that was available at the time. This was maybe 12 years ago. 12, maybe 11 years ago.
It's super under the table, like
Yep.
really
Yeah.
tight-lipped.
Right. So this is right to the pharmacy. You get these little pills in a prescription bottle. And I remember taking them, and I was like, wow, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I was like, that's odd. Let me try this again. And I did it the next day, and I had the same exact result. So I was like,
the pain subsided?
not necessarily, because I still had the pain pills in my body, so I didn't really know that that was working yet. It wasn't until I started weaning off the pain pills. Now, I wasn't abusing pain medication by any means. I was taking it as I was told. But still, there's a process that your body goes through to eliminate that on a daily basis. And if you're not careful on how you wean off those pills, you're just a mess. So I was methodical about how I was going to do it. And the THC was part of it, the Marinol. And my neurologist was 100% supportive of it. So he would increase my milligram of Marinol as I would decrease my milligrams of Oxycontin and Vicodins. And it worked like a charm. So I actually, this was the last show that I competed in. This was like maybe 10 years ago. I remember weaning off the medication and doing that up until the day of the show and using the adrenaline of the show to just like kind of forget about the fact that I needed pain pills. And it worked. It worked like a charm. And from that day on, I was just like, I'm never touching another pill or doing that, that way again. It was negative. So that's, it took a long time and a long process to get to that, but it was rough. Now that I think about it, I was like, wow, I got to.
And with the Marinol, were you getting high? No head high because the THC was so low?
None. It didn't come until I started like smoking that stuff on my own afterwards, because you can only get so much from the neurologist. And I realized that I was like, you know what, prescription THC, that's really not, he wasn't going to keep giving that to me. So I started buying marijuana and realizing that that worked as well. But it wasn't until my body started kicking back and realizing that smoking was negative that I started, experimenting with edibles.
Okay.
And some of the legal states started producing options that were kind of dribbling into New York and New Jersey. And that's when the options became more available. That's when, an edible at night to kind of relieve the stress or relieve some of the pain. I went through double hip replacements. I went through one 12 years ago and then another one 10 years later. I mean, that was like the most horrific experience of my life, to be quite honest with you. So I would have done anything to make that pain go away.
How long's the recovery like for that?
I had my right hip done the second time in March of 2018.
And now why'd you have to have it done a second time? Was it because you were lifting again? Or?
No, that hip was actually malfunctioning. It was on call. Biomed had to call a recall on their hips.
That's fucking nice.
It's funny that you should mention this. So the metal-on-metal hip replacement that I received was causing friction. And the metal would shard inside your body.
Oh, God.
So the shards of metal would get into your bloodstream and wreak havoc. So again, the heart issue, we were thinking, oh, maybe it's part of the metal content in my blood, or maybe it was some of the steroids. Like, it could have been a million different things. Lo and behold, it's an issue. So the hip had to come out. I had to get like a detox in my blood to get metals removed out of my blood, and then go back and get more blood work to make sure that all my blood levels were low, which they were. And then you go through the rehab process, which was just miserable. Like learning how you don't realize how much you use your hips until you don't have one.
Really?
Yeah. And then just building back is just, I do legs twice a week. It's like, it's a job. and it's still,
Still?
yeah, it's still not 100%.
So what do you? I mean, so now the second one that they put in, is it still metal on metal? Is it
No, it's like a ceramic and plastic insert.
okay? So I'm sure that's better.
Yeah.
I guess it makes all kinds of funky noises and
Does
stuff.
it? Does it?
I don't get to tell you when it makes those noises, but yeah.
So on the so on the 31st of this month, we can expect you dressed up as the Tin Man, right?
Yeah, that would be accurate. Very accurate, actually.
Getting a fucking oil canister for him. Get RJ lubed up.
You'd be surprised. I get up sometimes in the morning, and if the day's not right, I gotta like really move around and stretch out because the body just it just doesn't receive something that's artificial inside it. It just doesn't take to it right away.
Yeah.
And the tissues that surround it are just manipulated. They're soft. You know, the muscles just aren't tight anymore. It sucks.
I can't imagine getting that phone call where you were cut open, they put something in, and you go, listen, there's something wrong with it. We got to cut you back open again.
But John, it's funny you should say that. Because I never got that phone call.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, I never got that phone
You
call.
just felt some type of way.
No. So my kids and I went to Disney in January of 2018. And when I came home, I mean, I was in Disney. All right, let me back up a step. When I'm in Disney the first day, I couldn't make it through the park because the hip was so painful.
It's just painful locking up. What is it? What does it do?
Clicking. It was just, after you walk around for like 20 minutes or a half hour, you get this throbbing feeling, and it's just incredibly painful. That was the first hip that I had in there. So when I'm walking around Disney, I had to get one of those wheelchairs, and I had to drive around one of those scooters for a week. Fun.
No, I was about to say not
humbling.
Yeah, not
you know?
too horrible, but
I made the best of it.
if you take a step back and look at what's actually happening, it's fucking sad.
It sucked. Like when I got home, I was like, oh man, like I can't walk. I can't take
This
my
big
kids.
athletic guy, yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on right now? So I went right to the orthopedist, and he's like, oh, guess what? I'm like, you're fucking kidding me right now. Like, what do you mean? He's
They're like shuffling papers around. You know, it's weird. We were trying to call you, but we didn't have an updated address
Yeah.
and number.
I'm like, listen, I've been, sitting around waiting for this. Like, what do you guys been doing? Like, I don't understand. So they went through this whole rigmarole of, you got to get a blood test. We got to make sure your blood, your metal counts are low, and you better contact a lawyer. So
Good.
I actually
Yeah.
contacted a lawyer. Biomet. This is disgusting. You guys are gonna love this. Biomet offered me a $92,000 settlement.
Sick.
Yeah. And listen, correct me if I'm wrong. I might, not be able to use this leg for much longer. This is my second hip replacement. If I need a third, who's to say that third one's even going to work, or if it's going to be able to, I don't know. I have a heart condition. I can't get life insurance.
You have metal flowing around your blood freely.
And they're thinking $92,000 is going to compensate me for. So I
And
think I might
Yeah.
be forced to take that.
So-
I might be forced.
So
to
here's here's a question though. How we got to put you in contact with Rick Collins.
Yeah.
I know Rick very well.
I was gonna say.
actually.
There you
Rick
go.
and I are really close
Yeah.
friends.
You better hit
yeah.
Rick up. You better hit Rick up.
I've actually reached out to a few guys that are very close with Rick.
Good.
And the advice has been the same. You take what you can get right now.
Damn.
Big companies
Wow.
are getting over. Yeah, they're getting over. Another one.
Bunch of fucking
Another
scumbags.
one. Lawyers are a bunch of.
So now here's the question: How much is it?
dirtbags.
How much is a hip replacement? How much do they make on that?
Oh God, you can only imagine.
I'm googling this.
It's disgusting. I think they had Biomed had about 800 and something patients that they had to compensate for installing this, faulty hip that they knew was not good for you, but they put it inside you anyway. And it's funny, I was only 36 at the time when I got my first hip replacement. And the doctor was like, oh, you're going to outlive this hip. It's a sport hip. It's perfect for you. I was like, you're full of shit.
A sport hip.
Yeah, that's what he called it, a sport hip. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. What do you got?
That's a fancy way to say, here, put this in.
He was just selling it. That's all
Yeah,
he was
of course.
doing. Of course, he's not held accountable to anything that he says
No.
either. But
It's like how we were talking about the breast implants with somebody else that came on here. Where even though they know it's bad for you, they make one little change when something gets recalled, and they take them out, put them back in.
yep, they don't care.
Still gonna leak. They don't give a
Yeah,
fuck.
they don't give a shit.
Doesn't say how much the it's talking about physicians, not the actual. I want to know the company. I want to know what the company's making.
Well, Biomet got sold for billions. Yeah, I think.
So what do they? That's what I want to know. I want to know what do you guys make per hip replacement?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
because just on average, patients thought surgeons should receive 18.5
Yeah,
for a total hip
per
replacement,
operation, right? Somewhere
and
around there.
16.8 for total knee replacements. Patients estimated actual Medicare reimbursement to be 11.2 for the total hip replacement. and
Right.
8.9 for the total knee replacement.
I mean, listen, insurance picks up, a majority of these big operations, but
Right.
it's the device companies themselves are the ones that are compensating themselves tremendously.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't just have that information out there willingly.
No way.
No.
No way. Because if we knew what it was, we'd be disgusted.
Get shut down real quick.
The average national price for a hip replacement in 2012 was about 21 grand. So let's say they're getting incentives, I guess, right? So let's say
Tons.
30 to 40 they're getting per hip.
Yeah.
And then how many hip replacements do you think are going in the U.S. each year?
Oh, God, Nick, it's growing by the...
I can only imagine.
I wouldn't even be able to guess that number.
According to the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, don't fact check us, fact check them. More than 450,000 total hip replacements are performed each year in the States.
Yeah.
450,000.
Yep.
And what is the most common reason somebody needs a hip replacement? Is it just degeneration of the actual ball and socket? Is it just abuse?
I'm glad you're glad you're asking me this question, because that brings us to the structure of the orthopedic community. And that's probably a podcast all in itself.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I don't want to bash orthopedics and stuff like that. Have they helped me in the past? And yeah, but is there a better way? Absolutely.
I'm sure there is.
I've had the plasma shots in my shoulders. Plasma injections, which is they draw your blood, they spin it in a centrifuge, and they take the plasma, separate it, and they inject it back in the areas to promote healing. It's like a natural healing.
Similar to stem cells.
Very, very similar. It's not included in insurance policies. It's not
not.
covered. It's all cash.
Because
services.
anything that would truly potentially heal you, they don't want.
Well, that's just it.
There you
It
go.
actually replaces the need to do all those surgeries that we just talking about. Maybe half of those will go away because you can eliminate the injuries and the recoveries and the rehabs through this plasma therapy. But people don't have the resources to pay for that stuff. So they're not going to approve it because it's going to put orthopedists out of business.
Well, we literally just said people don't even have savings saved up and stored away for pandemics and the potential of not working for 6 months, half a year.
Right.
So like, why would they have the ability to spend thousands on plasma injections?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think they even said the average American can't afford $1,000 emergency.
Wow. That's
Yeah, I mean, listen, I
Yeah.
can afford
the
$1,000
ugly-
emergency.
the ugly truth
Average,
right
the
now.
average American. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I can afford $1,000 emergency, but I'll tell you, it stung when they told me it was going to be $1,800 for a new fuel pump on my car
Yeah, that
a
sucks.
month ago, and I was just like, just not what I feel like paying for right now.
Nobody likes to get hit over that.
Yeah.
Like that.
No.
But tell me, plasma. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Plasma.
no, so plasma injections are probably like they call it the golden blood because it's actually the gold stuff that your blood breaks down. And it promotes like this regenerative healing. So I don't think I'll ever go to the orthopedist again and get okay, let's give you an x-ray and let's go send you to an MRI and let's read your MRI. And then 2 weeks later they call you.
Cortisone.
Right, and then let's pump some cortisone in your body. Like I'm never doing that again. And I mean, I advise people to educate yourself and check out what your options are because there is a need for an orthopedist, but just not all the time. And you don't have to go through that process. The process of the MRI and the X-ray and all that bullshit is just nonsense, absolute nonsense. When you can just go right to the root of the problem. And work with some of the best rehab guys out there. Go work with Mike Plant, for Christ's sake. Go work with Mike Plant and get some plasma injections. That guy does rehab on athletes like I've never seen before.
Well, that's what when you start talking about athletes specifically, like Dak Prescott. Let's talk. It's recent. You saw what happened to
Yeah.
him. His fucking ankle
Ankle
like
snapped.
ripped in half basically, and it was just like hanging there.
Yep.
How many times do we see those injuries? How many times do you see those injuries and you see that same person back on that field 6 months later, 4 or 5 months later?
They are privy to some serious therapies.
How do they? That's what I'm gonna say. How do they get all that shit?
Yeah.
Cutting edge, not cutting edge. Yeah, maybe cutting edge because it's not widespread. Because the widespread treatment would be rest, recover, PT. You think Dak Prescott's going in there with the fucking walker and physical therapy 3 times a week?
Oh, sir.
No, man. They're injecting him with shit. They're using top of the line medical grade stuff to get their horse, their fucking prime pony, back on the field.
Millions
$1 million
of
baby
dollars.
to go play again and
Yeah,
win them
Golden Boy.
games. I mean,
We just don't have that stuff available to the regular community. It's sad.
well, that's what
Yeah.
drives me nuts because I'm very not pro doctor. I'm very. They just put Band-Aids on everything,
Yeah, I know.
and I hate Band-Aids. I do. Just tell me what's up. Let's get it going.
Let's fix it.
You know,
Yeah.
you always have to think of it like business. And we've said this a couple times, and I always say it. It's the medical industry is a fucking business. They are in it. They're not a not-for-profit.
No,
They
not
are
by any means.
for profit.
100%.
They want to make money, and they're not giving up. Your buddy's back.
Hey, what's up, bud?
And they're not giving breaks to anybody, especially because they want to make that money.
Right.
So why on earth would they have somebody totally healed and fixed when they could make money off that person for the next 6 to 8 months?
Right.
Yeah.
Take it slow. Start
Band-Aids.
with something a little bit. Yeah, it's disturbing, and it's tough. You know, my sister's a physician too, and my sister's probably one of the smartest people I know, unfortunately. And I always used to question. I'm like, why? You know, it's just weird to me. Like, you know, really, really intelligent people. I don't know. I don't know. The doctors, orthopedists. Yeah, you.
I'm listening
He's
to
getting the
dogs.
he's
The
getting the
dog's
hammer.
licking all over me right now.
No, leave his tattoos alone.
I just think the doctors and the orthopedists and just everything in general is controlled by the pharmaceutical industry. You know, they're taught how to take care of us by the people that are making our medicines. And it's, you know, their books that they studied were developed by them. It's just, I don't know. It's not that I don't trust a doctor because everybody needs a doctor in their life. Everybody needs
Yeah.
a checkup and they need to take care of themselves. But I just think you also need to know yourself too. And you need to know what's best for yourself and take someone's advice, but also know what's best for you.
It's kind of like the pharmaceutical industry is like the Amazon of retail, where you
Well
know what,
said.
we all have to live in this world where the pharmaceutical industry exists, Amazon exists, and you don't want to piss them off because they'll run your entire business into the ground like that.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee they got one bad deal with UPS and FedEx and said, "Fine, fuck you, we'll do it ourselves."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It's true.
even if you look at USPS, used to be the only way to ship something ever.
Right.
You go back 10, 15 years, shipping a package was a pain in the ass. Where, it's not taped in the right spot, we're not going to do it. If you just slap a sticker on a box and give it to them, they go, "We'll figure it out.
We'll
Just,
take it. Yeah.
just thank you for coming in."
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Things are being shipped all over the country right now. Amazon is, yeah, that's another big conversation that, you know, you guys could have with a million different people, I bet.
Yeah, we'll see if we've got
But I
Jeff
use
Bezos.
it. I use it every day. I'm constantly on Amazon. As much as I say, "Oh, this is horrible," and maybe we should. No, I use it.
It's easy.
It's easy. Yeah.
I order
it's
something.
convenient.
I order something, and it comes to my door in 2 days.
I know there's
Yeah.
something weird about it, and I know there's like they're incenting us to stay home, and like there's something very strange and demonic about the whole thing. But again, it's convenience, and we get sucked into it.
It's a matter of using that stuff for your convenience, not letting it take over your life.
Yeah.
Where if you're still not afraid to go out and live your life, but you'll take advantage of these conveniences, you can live your life even more.
True.
You got to be a
You get more time.
self-thinking human being.
Right. I don't know. Not many people are out there to better themselves. You know, self-improvement is we lack that. I think a lot of us lack that. I've been a believer in self-improvement my entire life. I've sucked at a lot of stuff. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made bad choices and, you know, done bad things, but it's a matter of not doing that again, learning from your mistakes and getting better. And that's what I think, just that self-improvement thing that we were just talking about. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this consulting business. You know, I think there's tons of people that want to get involved in fitness, and I want to help them. You know, there's no question about that. But I also want to be able to help the people that have lifestyle choices that are very, very poor. There are tons of people that are drinking too much. There's people that are smoking too much.
Well, now especially.
It's absurd. It's just absurd.
Suicide rate's crazy right now.
Crazy.
I'm sure the substance abuse rate's crazy right now as well.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And I know, and listen, I want to bridge on that. I know you're not advocating for substance abuse. I know you're not advocating for getting high all fucking day and sitting around doing nothing.
Absolutely not.
You know, I mean, you could even say that you're indicative of microdosing and making it so this way it's
100%.
it's enough to pain manage and maybe elevate to that next level of creativity or whatnot and stuff like that.
So you know, there's something about cannabis that a lot of people just don't know about. Is there's so many different options in the strains of cannabis that you can consume.
Teach John. John.
Yeah, that's
John don't
that's
know.
me. I
No
don't know
idea
a
about
fucking
that
thing.
stuff?
No.
Really?
No,
Well, not
he
many
just
people
he
do.
just smoked weed with Dorian. That's all he did. This fucking gangster over here.
Take this.
Shut
Okay.
up. When did
Oh.
you do that? Are you kidding me?
Well, I spent a week with him in Spain.
Go ahead.
So I took his DOA hit certification one-on-one.
Uh-huh.
And the last, basically, since it was just me.
Fuck.
Oh, you didn't know about any of this.
Go ahead.
RJ's super upset.
Oh, shit.
Like what?
So he was running this DOA hit master certification,
Uh-huh.
which is all about, bodybuilding, doing it healthy, doing it the right way.
I
but-
remember that. Yeah.
Right. So I'm one in like 30 people in the world certified in it now. And it was just me and him one-on-one. I was supposed to go with somebody else, but there was something happened.
You got to pay an arm and a leg for that.
Yeah, the cert was like $4,000 each.
Oh,
But fortunately,
go ahead.
it would have cost me 8, but he still had to pay his half. So
Okay.
I made out like a bandit.
Yeah. Very well.
And anyway, since it was just me and Dorian, it was kind of like, he asked me, he's like, do you have anything else going on today? I'm like, well, I kind of flew to Spain for you, so no, I'm free. What's up? So we ended up going to lunch every single day.
Right.
And the last night, it was me, him, and his wife went to this nice Italian restaurant. Sat down, had dinner. Him and I went outside, smoked a joint, came back in, had dessert.
Shut the fuck up.
And it was funny. There was a
Dude, do you know how many guys would break their foot off to smoke a joint with Dorian Yates?
It was
I'm
fuck-
dead serious.
It was fucking
I
great.
mean, I know you had to pay $4,000 for it and get the certification and all, but
yeah.
You pay $4,000
they
to smoke
pay
a joint.
10. They pay 10 or 20 to smoke a joint with Dorian Yates.
Yeah, no, it was just a good fucking time. And the funniest thing was, we were just outside the restaurant, right? Just went around the corner, and there was somebody walking by who was like, not a cop, but just patrols the area.
Right.
And he was looking over. Dorian looks at me and goes, he's wondering if it's worth his time. Obviously, the guy just kept walking.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. And my flight was the next morning. So, whatever. Had dessert, had a glass of wine, joint with him, said our goodbyes. I went to a grocery store in Spain. I'm like, all right, what can I get that's something fucking tastes good
his
right now?
Munchies are
I mean, it was
kicking in.
high as fuck.
Not even munchies, just like, let me enjoy this while I have it, because
Right,
I
yeah.
very rarely smoke.
Okay.
Got a flavor of Ben & Jerry's they don't have here.
What flavor?
Can't remember the fucking name of it. It's like
course he
super,
doesn't, yeah.
super chunk or something or other.
I'm like, give me details,
He doesn't,
piece of
remember,
shit.
he doesn't remember anything from that.
I know I woke up for my flight.
That's right.
But man, it was a fucking experience, let me tell you. That whole time in Spain.
So you're pretty much vanilla when it comes to smoking marijuana and stuff like that. You wouldn't know if it was put in front of you. You wouldn't know what kind it was, or you wouldn't have any idea what was going on.
Not a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no.
And that's pretty much most of, I mean, at least not most of the Long Island community, I would say. At least a lot of the clients that come across my desk are uneducated as to what the options are and the strains. It's very similar to
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
But yet they still smoke. And they don't give a shit what it is.
Mhm.
As long as it's green and it smells like that thing marijuana that they think it is.
Smells like a
they
tire.
it smells like a skunk.
That's how all my friends are.
Yeah.
Or I say a vast majority. One of my closest friends is super into it. He lived in
Yeah.
California for a while. He knows all his shit. So I've gotten some of my knowledge from him,
Right.
just in talking. And
Yep.
besides what you gave me that time,
Yeah.
like I don't really, I haven't smoked. I haven't smoked, before that for like 6 years, 5
Right,
years.
right.
So it's like, it's never something that
That
I,
was right from the dispensary, by the way. Like
That was good shit.
Yeah.
I gave it to I gave the rest of it to, dude, an eighth lasted me 2.5 months. And there was still some left
You're
over.
funny. You're
There was still some left over, and I gave it to my buddy. I said, here, just try the one that I keep telling you to get with
Right,
you.
right.
I gave it to him. I was like, here, just because I said I want to share it a little bit because I'm not a smoker. It's a,
Right.
But I told Gunther, I said, yeah,
Oh, Johnny boy.
yeah. I said an eighth lasted me 2.5 months. He goes, wow. He goes, that put my weed smoking capacity on the map for real.
He's a high consumption guy as himself. Yeah. He's-
But yes, I'm big on. I gotta listen. I don't like to put anything foreign in my body. Says the guy that was taking a gram of pre-workout and caffeine a day.
Hello.
Okay, crucify me. But like literally,
That's what it is. It is
literally
what it is.
that was my fix to get through the day because I'm just always exhausted. But if I'm putting things in my body, I want to know what it is and where it's coming from, how it's going to affect me. I don't like the feeling of being high.
Yeah.
Just not me. I don't like the floatiness because I get vertigo spells every now and then, which I think was in part with the caffeine.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which I think is in part with the caffeine. So when I get that floaty feeling when I smoke, I almost feel like, is the vertigo here? Am I feeling it? And then I'm like, no, you're just relax.
Right.
You got to talk yourself off the ledge before you get anxiety. For me, and that was only on one hit.
Yeah.
One to two hits of, the stuff you gave me, which was like Maui, Mai Tai.
Right. It was actually a sativa. It was actually a sativa.
Which I was smoking
we'll
which I was smoking
we'll get to
which
it.
I was smoking at night.
Right. Which is a little backwards. So sativa it's sativa and indica.
Okay.
So there's sativa hybrids and indica strains. And the sativa strains are basically, they're more for energy and focus. They're more focused on the mind. So I've seen tons and tons of business professionals and entrepreneurs that take on these sativa-based diets basically during the day and indica-based diets at night. That's where I got it. I actually got it off a website several years ago, and I was looking at the what are the links on the bottom when people are constantly commenting and stuff like that? Why am I
Comment section.
Thank you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound
I
like
got
an
you,
idiot. Anyway, thanks, bro.
The angry part of Facebook.
Right, and I didn't learn this myself. Nobody taught it to me. I read it off some website. So I was like, let me try that. So sativa works for the body, but just for the mind on energy and focus. And indica works the exact opposite direction. It's more on the body, and it makes you feel more heavy and sedated. And a lot of the strains have properties that work well for some and really don't work well for others. So when people just don't know what they're consuming, it's almost like Russian roulette. I mean, you have no control over the outcome. And I find that to be very negative. So I advise people to educate yourself on what works best for you, but you need to know what it is first. So when you're buying, marijuana from some shady guy in the bar or something like that, or you're buying from your buddy and it comes in a stupid cellophane bag, it's like, that's what we did 20 years ago. That's what we did 10 years ago. Nowadays, cannabis consumption is far more educated than that. It's more available. So to go down to the dispensary and actually speak to somebody and understand what you're getting is the process that I went through. And it was just so educational and so helpful that I built a consulting business around that business itself.
Premise.
Right,
Yeah.
around that premise. Like inviting someone down to the dispensary and teaching them how to consume cannabis healthy and make it a lifestyle choice that works with you, not against you. And there's so many people that are struggling with that lifestyle problem right now. It's crazy. I mean, especially now with COVID. Nuts. Everybody's making bad choices and doing bad things. So
Well, dude, it was a lot. I told you, man, middle of the pandemic, no videos to shoot, no nothing. And just trying to
piece it all together.
to mentally not go insane. A puppy that was driving me nuts at the time because I'm always around him and he's super needy because it's a fucking puppy.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's just everything was just hitting me at the same time, and I was just like, man. So I would just boys would be on Xbox till 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. We play
go.
all night and
Yep.
we pour in the drinks, man. 11 o'clock in the morning. Peanut butter whiskey, just fucking smoking them fucking back.
Yeah.
Just hitting it.
I know.
Then you start looking like, damn, went through that bottle 2 days. It's rough, man. It's a $30 bottle of whiskey.
If there was a way to put a finger on the increase in alcohol consumption over the last 6 months, I think everybody would be blown away.
Well, they were
Blown
listed
away.
as
Oh, yeah.
they were listed as essential businesses, which
How the
is
fuck does that happen?
which is-
Somebody please tell me that.
and fast food joints. I can understand grocery stores being listed as essential businesses, but leaving fast food chains and leaving alcohol and liquor stores
Yeah.
open as essential businesses, that's instantly when I said this whole essential non-essential shit is bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
It's bullshit.
See, that brings us to another conversation that we can have. And I know you don't like to talk politics and stuff like that, but I am definitely getting into politics. There's no question about that. Not this November, but 2 years from that, I definitely plan on running for state assembly. District assembly, yeah, no question. My district is District 14. It's Belmont, Merrick, Wanto. I grew up in that neighborhood.
Okay, yeah. I'm right over there.
Yep, yeah,
Yeah.
you're from there. So when this whole shutdown happened, I was like, wow, why are we being affected like this? Why is that shut down? Why is that open? And I'm like, who's responsible for this stuff? And I had no idea who ran, stuff in our community. And I thought that was like a huge issue. I'm like, how do I not know who this guy is? So I was like, start scratching my head a little bit. And I started digging in on what these guys are responsible for and how they delegate authority and what they're responsible for in the community. And I'm like, I've been working in the community my whole life. I've been training people in the community. People trust me in the community. They come to me with their well-being, their children. I have a huge special needs program that we work out of the cafe and out of Crunch, Belmore. And there's a huge special needs community in Belmore and Merrick. I was like, there's so much that I can do for this community. I just got to dig in, and I need to be responsible for it. So that's my plan. My plan is to eventually run for district assembly and make that difference in my community. Hopefully it'll branch out and do bigger things, but I got to start somewhere. But the whole political thing really pissed me off. I got to be honest. Like, how are the liquor stores down the street from me open, but the gym that my business is inside
Is deemed it as unessential
and I'm
or
like,
non-essential is the
how
correct term.
the hell? And I know all these people that come into the gym. I met them for years, and they come to that facility to feel good about themselves. They come there to stay healthy and to stay fit. And they just had that taken away from them. And it just blew my mind away. I'm like, how
Bad news,
the
man.
hell is this happening? And there's no voice for the fitness community.
Not at all.
None.
No.
And that's another thing that I would love to kind of bridge the gap to, which is personal trainers. I've been a personal trainer for 30 years. You're a personal trainer as well.
Yeah.
Why are we not treated with the same level of respect that a physical therapist is? Why? Why is there no state regulations? Why is there not a licensing program? Why is there not a group that has a voice for us?
I guess
because
because-
then Cuomo and de Blasio wouldn't have been able to do to the fitness community what they did.
I guess I could see on one side it's because PTs obviously go through a lot more training, schooling, and whatnot versus a PT versus a regular personal trainer.
Yeah. Only problem I see is, I know I got my first job as a personal trainer. I was at Crunch. I was 18 years old.
Yep.
I wasn't even certified.
That's the type of shit that
That's
I'm
the
talking
problem.
about.
That's
And
what I'm
then-
tapping into right now. That's what I'm talking about.
I
Like,
had
there's no regulation to it whatsoever.
that's the issue.
It's disgusting.
I had over a 40-hour work week built up in 4 weeks of working at
And no
Crunch
background to
Manhattan.
handle it at all.
I just knew what
You
I was
did
doing.
it. You did it, right, yeah.
Roughly, but
Yeah.
fortunately, I knew what I was doing. The average person, I could have been a scam artist that said, "Hey, I know how to train you. I'm in shape. Here, give me your money."
And you know, no clue what they're doing, yeah.
Yeah,
But that's half of the trainers
I
that are
never
out
ended
there
up
right
getting
now.
certified there
Yeah.
because I'm like, "Look, guys, if you want, I'll go get certified, but I need to take all these hours off to go take a test and study."
Right.
They go, "That's fine. Don't worry about it." You know,
Yeah, they'd rather take half of your money of your training session.
oh, more than
And
that.
not- yeah.
Way more.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I've
That's the problem. The standard
I've
is
worked
so
for
low.
so many gyms over the years, and you know, one of the reasons why I retired is because of the lack of respect that you get in the industry. I mean, there
Yes.
are no sick days. There's no compensation. There's no vacations. There's no insurance. There's no benefits. There's no IRA. There's nothing. I think there's two major corporations that handle right that or even offer that, and that's Export and Lifetime.
Yeah.
But other than that, there are no fitness chains or franchises that cater to a professional training skill. And I just feel like if we developed the platform to have it, it's got to start somewhere. It's got to start within the community, and then we build it and we put legislature together to make it happen. And eventually that becomes standard, you know, and becoming a personal trainer, you have to take a state test. You have to do a hands-on practical exam. Like, you got to do all these things. And next thing you know, the standard of the trainer goes from your paper certification to your state certification. And it makes it a viable career at this point, because everybody thinks it's a good career until you do it for a year or two and you're like, holy shit, like, I'm not really making that much money. I get no time off. If I'm sick, I make no money. My clients control my schedule, because if they cancel, I have nothing to do with it. Like, it's a really rough career.
And
It's
then
tough.
the gyms try to nix your hours too and go,
Exactly.
"Hold on, yeah,
Exactly.
could have sworn I worked 7 other sessions besides this."
Right. It's a hustle.
It's, you know, it needs to be because the biggest problem trainers have too is if you really need help, like you're a 300-pound man, you're gonna have a heart attack, and this guy is bullshitting online, going, "He's all my transformations," and it's all fake. You come to him, spend your money. He clearly has no idea what he's doing. Just figured it'd be an easy sales gig. Now you're turned off to trainers forever, when you could have spoken to somebody like one of us that could have saved your life, but instead every trainer is bad because this guy screwed you over.
Yeah, social media
It
hasn't
needs-
helped the training
no.
industry at all. I mean, we didn't even touch on that. More,
It needs to be a license.
yeah.
like
It needs to elevate.
screw certifications.
Yeah,
It needs-
Canada does it.
Yeah.
Canada
Really.
does it that way. Yep. No, Canada does it that way. I mean, listen. If everything goes the way we see it going, federal cannabis legalization is probably going to happen sooner than later. I think we've got 13 states that allow recreational marijuana use right now. New York and New Jersey are potentially the two next states that are going to go.
And Washington, D.C., if I'm not correct, they have it, right?
Washington, D.C.
Yes.
There's a whole list of them.
Yes.
I'll tell you the list right now. Hold on.
But I just think it's funny where the capital of the country can have it, but not all the states.
Yeah, it's like Alaska, California, Wyoming, Illinois,
Yeah.
Washington, D.C., Maine. I'm pretty good with that shit. I think I'm missing a few. But anyway, but New York and New Jersey, I think are going to be the next two states that break in. I mean, Cuomo and Murphy, both the governors of the states, have been pro-cannabis for quite some time. I know they threw that in their budget when they ran the first time. It's just they weren't getting the voter approval.
Right.
So it didn't get passed in New Jersey and New York. But right now, they're in communication about doing that because of the COVID budget, the budget crisis and the budget deficit and all these problems that they have. They need money.
They need on the tax.
Yeah. They need money, so they figured throw cannabis legalization in there, and then the tax dollar is going to go way up. And it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But it needs to be done right. You know, they just can't throw dispensaries out there and expect it to work. There's got to be education for the community. There's got to be ways to prevent it from, bleeding into the schools and into kids' hands. Like, there's got to be limitations to it.
And at the same time, you still have to be able to not get greedy, tax it too much, where you're not just going to go to the guy around the block anyway.
Right.
So,
What do you got, Nick?
Yeah.
these states are voting on marijuana legalization in 2020. This is Fox 8. I guess Washington State, maybe? I don't know. Arizona, a proposition on the ballot would legalize the possession and use of marijuana for adults who are 21 or older. People would be permitted to grow 6 marijuana plants at their home as long as the plants aren't in public view.
Amazing.
Mississippi, there are 2 measures on the ballot in Mississippi that aim to legalize pot for medical purposes. Initiative 65 would make medical marijuana available for everybody, for people with very specific qualifying conditions. Montana, the state will see 2 marijuana initiatives on the
they're all
November
coming.
ballot. New Jersey, question number 1 on the ballot would make pot legal for adults 21 or older. Medical marijuana is already legal in Jersey, and the group that oversees the regulation of medical cannabis would also regulate recreational pot. New York is not on this article.
They're not, yeah.
Nope. South Dakota, state will be voting on both medical and recreational marijuana during the general election. And Amendment A would legalize recreational cannabis for anyone 21 or older. And the measure would also require state lawmakers to pass laws that create a medical marijuana program by early 2022.
Wow. So there's like this format that these legal states have been following, and it seems as if so decriminalization. Let me say that again, maybe correctly. Decriminalization.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's basically when the state doesn't treat marijuana consumption or marijuana. What's the word I'm looking
Possession?
for? Possession. Thank you. Jeez, I'm
Gotcha.
tongue-tied. It's not a crime anymore. And that's a huge step towards legalization, because usually a lot of the legal states that are available now, decriminalization happened, and then a year later, legalization happened.
And that's in New York currently.
Correct. So last July, they voted for decriminalization.
2019.
Right.
Okay.
So right now in New York, you can drive around with marijuana or consume marijuana. Let's just say you're not being an asshole. If you're being
Waving it out the
if
window.
you're being a complete
Yeah.
fucking asshole and you look suspect, police officers are going to bust your balls. There's no question about it. But they also know that there's everyday Americans that are now consuming cannabis, and they move state to state, and they have medical licenses, and these are products that are going to be consumed by the community. So they don't look at it as they used to. I have friends that are police officers that are, way up.
Not even worth their fucking time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not worth their time.
And how do you think that?
But again, if you're that asshole, you're
Yeah.
going to put yourself
Yeah.
in harm's way, and you're going to get in trouble. So
well,
if
how many people do
you're
you think are
asking
bringing
for it-
shit down from Massachusetts?
Oh, it's crazy. People
Yeah.
taking just to drive up there. It's an hour, a
It's-
couple away, and
If
come
Jersey
back
gets
with it.
passed, it'll be passed 6 months later.
Yeah, no question.
Jersey,
You're
yeah.
going to have to keep up. I mean, because all the
You'll-
tax money
you'll
is going to
drive
be
a half
driving
hour away.
right. And
Yeah.
why would you do that when you can just buy it in your own state, right? I totally see that happen. But it's like this. I don't know. The legalization thing is inevitable. I think federally, I don't know what the outcome was, but I think there was a federal vote for decriminalization in September 2020. I haven't heard anything since then about that. But supposedly, if federal starts talking about decriminalization, then it's,
The floodgates open.
100%. Then all the state limitations are wide open and they have nothing to worry about. But again, there's this option that we have that grows from the dirt that we can use. It grows from the planet that we live in, that we can use in our daily lives as not necessarily a crutch, but in lieu of all these harmful things that we've been using for years, whether it be cigarettes or alcohol or caffeine, pre-workouts, prescription drugs, painkillers, Xanax.
God knows what is actually in pre-workout.
Dude,
We talk. I mean, we have
blown away if you knew.
we talk. I mean, listen, we talk.
I worked for like 4 supplement companies
Yeah.
in my career. It's
Well, we talk to everybody. We've had multiple supplement companies in here
I
already
bet,
talk to
yeah.
us. But like, really, what is in it? Like, what is making me feel like I want to lift the world up?
it's the chemicals.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is. It's a chemical-based product, and
And how good? And there's no long-term studies on pre-workouts. So who
Nothing.
knows? We could all
Nothing
be
at all.
fucked in the
the
next 10 years.
pharmaceutical industry and the fitness industry is a ticking time bomb. It really is, because they are generating all these white powders and mixes and doing all these things to replace nature. That's basically what they're replacing. There's a natural healing element in everything that we have that comes from the ground and the ocean. There's no question about it. We've known that for years. It's just that there's more money to be made if we make it into a white powder or a white cream.
And
or,
it's quick and easy to do, and it
Right.
doesn't go bad.
and we create
Yeah.
a company and a product and a profit and a margin. And next
And a
thing you
video.
know-
Woo!
Yeah,
There you go.
capitalism. Woo, yeah. Well,
Sponsor us.
Unfortunately, that's the scary part of that is all of the regulation and the powers that be that have all that money. They create the platforms for that shit to survive, and the community has no control over it. We get handcuffed into buying pharmaceuticals and pre-workouts and stuff because we just think we're supposed to. We had no idea. Just think about the freaking ad and the commercial that we just did for my company, and the commercials that we looked at, black and white commercials on smoking a cigarette, and it made it look like you were the coolest person under the sun smoking a cigarette. Meanwhile, smoking a cigarette is putting you basically in a coffin, and yet they were promoting it as it was God's gift to us. I mean, like, that's crazy.
One of my closest friends, Barra, he's my godson's father. We've been trying to get him to quit cigarettes for years, dude. Years. And he'll quit, and then he'll always wind up going back to
Go
it.
right back to
I
it,
mean,
yeah.
we were playing handball this past Sunday, like all of us playing, and it was his first time out. Middle of the game. He's like, wouldn't be handball if Barra didn't have a cigarette in his mouth. He's like, opens the lungs up. I go, debatable.
Necessarily, guy.
Debatable.
Yeah.
May feel like it does, but debatable.
Those poor little bronchial dilators on the end of your those
he's
poor little
fucked.
things.
He was smoking like 2 packs a day for a while.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Yeah, fucking insanity.
that's bad.
Mhm.
I try to tell people that all the time. Like, cigarette smoke's way worse than marijuana smoke. We know that. But any type of smoke inhalation is not good for you. It's
Yeah.
just not. It's going to be counterproductive sooner than later. It's going to catch up to you. Like, you might not realize it at first, but then like a couple of months down the line, like you could just be like developing like a phlegmy cough, or like your appetite will slide, or something's just not right.
Well, I have one of my closest friends. Oh, another one. My other buddy Gabe. He talked. You remember Gabe?
I do.
Yeah. He smokes a lot.
Yeah.
And not cigarettes, weed.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, like, he coughs all the fucking
It's a
time.
wreck. Yeah.
So I don't know what he's rolling it or smoking it with, but he's just coughing all the time.
Yeah.
And every time he coughs, I go, "Yo, COVID?" He's like, "Nah, bro, weed."
That's one of the biggest things that I talk to my clients about right now. So I really haven't released this service that I have. It's really just word of mouth with my current clients and my old clients, my fitness clients. And the biggest thing that we come across is people that are smoking marijuana daily, pretty much all day. And they are just falling into this trap of negative reactions. Like, their body's telling them to change. And they're just like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And I'm like, well, have you tried something different? And the answer is always no. It's because there is no option. And once you realize that there's an option, like the inhalation of marijuana doesn't necessarily have to be done with a lighter. It doesn't have to happen. There are nasal sprays. There are tinctures, drops that you can put under your tongue. some of the edibles. There's gummies, there's candies,
What's your favorite edible?
punch bars.
Punch bar? What is
yeah.
that?
Everybody knows what a punch bar
I don't
is.
know what a
I don't
punch
know
bar
what
is.
a
Punch
bars.
bars are the best. They're these. There's 9 squares. They're these chocolates. You'll see them when they come out. It's got like 2 fists, so it like punches you in the face. And you'll have people that can take 1 square, and they're golden. And like someone like myself, I need like 4. I don't know if it's weight or just like my receptors are
Maybe both.
whatever. Who
Yeah.
knows? But yeah, punch bars are by far the most popular product. And it's funny, Curaleaf, which is the cannabis dispensary in Call Place, just recently came out with a new tincture. They have like flavored tincture and the nasal sprays that I was just telling you about. So, the dispensaries are actually getting better with product availability, because in California, you can walk into a dispensary and literally sit there for an hour and cherry pick and diagnose every strain for what property it's for and how it would work for you, and possibly sit with someone to educate you on how that works. It's amazing how in-depth it is in these legal states, and we have nothing even close to it here. Drives me nuts.
It's finally had the time to become a business.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a candy shop. Go to chocolate bar. That was it.
Yeah.
Now you want this. I want this inside
It's
of this
very,
baked
very
with this.
similar, yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's had the time to evolve.
Yep, that's it. Yep, that's it.
225 milligrams for a
Yep.
whole bar?
Mm-hmm. It's funny, too. Like, the milligrams for edibles are so hard to put a finger on.
Yeah, well, because you're cooking it into
Yeah.
it, so you don't.
Well, it's not even that. Well, yeah, that.
Recipes change, and you may not have put enough into this, and it may get stronger on this.
You would think that the legal states and the way they represent the milligrams in their product would work, but it's just, I think it's on a case-by-case basis. People just metabolize THC when you take it, in your mouth differently. And sometimes it works for some people a certain way, and sometimes it works for others another way. So it's like trial and error, but it's, you have to find out what works best for you. And you got to take notes. You got to write down the experiences on, on how you felt, et cetera. If you had a good night's sleep, was your appetite on point? Did you have anxiety? I cannot tell you how many people come to me with anxiety issues. I can't smoke marijuana anymore. I'm like, well, why? Well, the last time I smoked, like 15 years ago, I was so paranoid. I'm like, that was 15 years ago. Do you have any idea how far we've come with the type of products that we have nowadays? Like,
Do you know what was actually in there?
yeah, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They have no clue.
And with the edibles and stuff too, I'd have to imagine that's to base off somebody's diet. Meanwhile, basically
much so.
saying if your stomach and your overall acidity in your body is too high, it's going to burn up the THC. It's a pretty finite molecule, right?
100%.
So
The faster your
this-
metabolism, the faster it chews it up. Yeah.
right. But I'm saying the acidity in the stomach itself, physically breaking down that THC,
Right.
before it even gets a chance to be absorbed.
100%, yeah. I think they say something like if you have a very fatty meal, like a high fat content meal, the
Yeah.
edibles take a little bit longer to kick in.
It slows everything down.
Yep, which makes
Slows
total sense.
digestion.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes total sense. But I mean, listen, we both know that there are tons of fitness athletes out there that consume marijuana products.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still keep in touch with the athletes that I've worked with in the past. I still talk to the guys that we're all privy to from Bebs and
Yes.
stuff like that. And some pros, some not, some amateur athletes. Some guys are really, really serious, but some doctors, some lawyers, some retired police officers. There's not really anybody that I know that either hasn't consumed marijuana at some point or wouldn't consider using it because it's an option. And that's why I find like this whole concept that I'm doing, New Day Consultant, you'll see the video and everything that this genius puts together.
That's
it's,
right.
It's incredible. Like, it really shows you a snapshot of how twisted we've been taught to think that things are good for us. Like, what's good and what's bad. Cannabis is always thought to be negative. It's always been pounded into our brains that it's not good for you. The stupid commercials where you're squashed in the couch. There's always weird things that we've seen over the years.
I have seen them. I've seen them.
You Google some of the commercials on
They're
marijuana
insane.
in the 80s and the 90s, and I mean, they put shit out there to literally demonize that product, demonize it. And yet you'd follow a Budweiser commercial right behind it,
Yeah.
looking like it's fantastic. And, and that's, as a kid, you're growing up, ooh, pot's no good, but I can go to the liquor store. As soon as I turn 21, I can't freaking wait. Like, but let's call it what it is. Liquor's poison for the body. You put any kind of liquor into your body and it's poison, and your body is processing it as fast as it can to get it the fuck out
Yeah.
because it's not supposed to be there. And it's instilled in our community ethics to drink on holidays and drink on birthdays and consume alcoholic beverages. And I just can't believe how we've been taught to live like this when there's an alternative, which is far better and far better for you. The amount of family violence and, you know, all the crap that goes on. I mean, guys beating up their girlfriends all the time. I mean, I guarantee you 75% of them are drunk out of their heads when they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's call it what it is. So domestic violence and just family violence in itself, you remove alcohol from that family environment, and I guarantee you things change. I guarantee you. And it's just sad that we've had to wait this long for it to come to fruition. Like, it's just ridiculous. But it's here. I mean, it's right around the corner. Unfortunately, we have to deal with COVID. But yeah, it's all
Slowly
happening.
awaiting it to just leave, and it's not going
It's
to.
not going
No.
anywhere,
It's never gonna
bro.
go away.
As we speak, there's like 20 people getting tested right now, like that are testing
Oh,
positive. Like,
more than 50 people.
We all just got to promise not to get tested to level 0.
I'm never getting tested ever. I don't give a
No,
shit.
I mean,
No.
dude, unless I'm like fucking dying in a bed and I can't breathe and I'm one of those 1%ers,
Yeah.
like I'm not getting tested. Don't fucking stick me.
Me
with
and
anything.
me,
Then you don't need a test. You got it.
you got it.
bro, literally, there was a story that came out that said a woman who had an underlying, like a 1 in a billion underlying health condition. They did the swab in her nose for the thing. They punctured her fucking brain, like
Shut
that,
up.
with the
Yeah.
and mucus was getting into her fucking brain cavity.
No, it was the other. I think it was brain fluid coming out of the nose.
Nice.
Was it?
Yeah, it was coming. It was coming down. The
What do I
fluid.
Google
That bitch so
Chick-
stupid, her brain coming out her nose. That's
What do
horrible.
you, that's awful. What do we Google?
Brain puncture COVID
Brain
test.
nose?
I don't even know. How do you find that? God knows what you're going to see when you pull that up, you know.
I have not pictures. No, of course, the first thing that comes up thanks to Google is no, you can't puncture your brain with a COVID test.
Yeah, bullshit.
And then the second one is COVID-19 test caused brain fluid leak.
At least they're both on there.
You know, I think I had COVID. I'm not even joking.
Sure, we all
So I remember
did.
back in, when was the shutdown? March?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So March, me and my training partner, he put like weights in his backyard and stuff. We was pounding in the backyard, and he was an EMT at the time. So he used to have to go to work, masked up all the time, and he swears, him and I both the same day had this cough. We felt like shit. We both at the same time. I'm like, I'm going home. I'm going home. We stayed in bed for like a day. Are you ready to work out the next day? We were fine. And I didn't get tested. He didn't get tested. We didn't quarantine. We just didn't feel good for a day. I swear to God, that's what everybody was
Most
getting.
likely. And
knows?
this could have been from January to March too. It didn't
Who
just
knows?
you didn't flip a switch and go, okay, now it's everywhere.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it slowly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who was I talking to yesterday? This is the issue. I talked to so many fucking people I forget. I was talking to somebody yesterday.
Smoking
Sorry if you're listening.
Smoking too much cannabis, guy.
Too much of that eighth that's lasted me since July.
Too much of that brain stuff.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they said besides morbidly obese people and people that had serious underlying conditions,
Right.
any athlete that you've heard or that you know that has gotten it, who's been really affected by it?
I haven't seen one person
None.
with a symptom.
I mean,
Think of how many test positive guys that you've heard, athletes especially. 'cause
Cam
the
Newton.
football guys, Cam
I
Newton.
literally just got another notification that another positive test in the
Yup.
Patriots facility. Nobody even knew that they were
Nobody
even
even
sick.
knew because
Yeah.
they're all asymptomatic. Why?
Well,
Because they're healthy.
look at here's an example. Look,
You're right.
this people saying this completely destroys you, kills you. Everybody's saying they're going to gain weight, right? Big Ramy tested positive, looking the way he fucking did a week
Did he?
before Spain.
Yeah,
That's why he couldn't compete.
Yeah, couldn't
Oh,
compete.
really?
Had to back
Yeah.
out.
And
Boys
pretty
giant.
sure he looks great. Pretty sure he was in perfect health to train and do everything he was doing.
Yeah.
How's our boy doing? Is he okay?
Of course, he's
Love
fine.
that guy.
He's a beast.
You know, the funny thing is he's considered obese on the BMI scale.
So am I.
Oh,
We
I
all
am
are.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my height's like
morbidly
192.
obese.
Yeah.
So technically, he should be really at risk for COVID.
Yeah.
Really at risk for COVID.
On his deathbed, but he's not.
But he's not. It's weird, right?
It's odd to see how the reaction to COVID today is the same as it was back in February and March, but nobody's jammed in the hospitals. Nobody's dying. Like, it's just not happening.
Well,
the
infection
same-
rates may be up, but the death rate is basically nowhere to be.
gone, right.
Well,
Yeah.
then
The
they'll pump
paranoia is 10 times worse, though.
Yes, but then they'll pump out a news article that says oh, a woman got COVID second time and died.
Right.
It's like, what? Dude, I was in the city this past weekend, okay? Brooklyn on Friday, Manhattan, and how many times did I say over this thing that you couldn't pay me to go to the city? Well, they paid me and I went to the city. but they paid me and I went to the city.
did
So
There you go.
I did say that a couple times. So I was there Saturday from like 11 o'clock until 7:30 at night between Times Square, between Central Park. Fucking
Dead.
mobbed.
Really?
Mobbed. People everywhere.
Cut it out.
Bumping into you. City was mobbed.
Good.
Central Park. Did you guys see my story?
No, I missed it that day.
I'm sure I saw it.
Bro. Insane.
I didn't even know you were in Central Park, so I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I was in.
And I watch your shit pretty regularly.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Bro, so crazy. I literally put up on my story. I said, you want to see how COVID spreads? It's right here. Like,
Oh, wait, I did see that. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, okay.
dude, when I tell you, like, and then Sunday I was there from 8 a.m. until 5 o'clock at night. Okay, and then I went and played handball with my boys in the evening. If I don't get it, or if I haven't had it already, if I don't get it
Yeah,
from
you're
this
not
past
getting
weekend,
it.
which symptoms show up 4 to 5 days later, so I would
That's
have.
what they say.
I would have
Yeah.
it. I
They
would.
say.
I would have it already. Technically,
Right.
If I don't have it right now, like, I'm sorry, then this thing is really not as prevalent as they make it seem.
Well,
Like, it's there, but
me in the
There's
beginning,
no
Nick,
question. There's no
I told
question.
you I was
it's there.
taking zero precautions at all. When they said, okay, don't touch your hand, touch your face. Me, I'm always fuck with my beard. I'm like, all right, well, this is real. I'm gonna
Too,
get it.
man. I get it.
I go, this is real. I'm gonna get it, and let's see what happens. And
I just.
fucking knock on wood, I'm still
there
here.
you go.
Yep. There's
Yeah.
tons of people there.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no social distancing. They're piled on top
somebody
of each
messaged
other.
me and they said, well, it looks like they're spaced out. I said, oh, shut the fuck up.
Please.
I said, shut
They
the
weren't
fuck
spaced
up.
out on the subway ride over there.
I know. But you know what? It's
Or in the parking garage when the attendant goes and gets my car and I get back in the car as he's touched every other car that's
single
gone there.
thing that's in
Yeah.
there, right? Well, that's one of the most peculiar parts of this entire thing is I guess the haphazard decision making of what's allowed and what's not. That's the thing that I think frustrates me and I think so many people the most because it just makes no sense. You know, limiting this, allowing this. You know, the tests don't match up. It's just I don't
It's
know.
all-
it's all
it's all crazy.
fucked up.
Well, did
Makes no sense.
did
I
you s-
never thought in my lifetime that I'd be experiencing something like this.
Yeah.
Ever.
I love how I've actually never noticed this. This is actually fucking hysterical. That London's in lockdown again. That's not the hysterical
yeah.
part. The hysterical part is, ours is the New York Times and, the news are.
Right.
Theirs is the Telegraph.
Telegraph.
I don't know why.
You like that, huh?
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, you like that.
Telegraph.
Yeah,
A
well.
bunch of assholes.
New fucked up.
Fucking the pen and quiver. That's what they should have.
Right,
Like,
right.
the quiver and note. New restrictions banning different households from mixing indoors will be imposed in London from Saturday to prevent rising coronavirus
no.
levels. They're in lockdown starting today again.
Oh, no.
Round 2.
Oh, no.
City has been rated medium, tier 1, and is moving to a tier 2 lockdown.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Sweden's just fine.
They're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
fine.
then I saw a news article. A news article came up on Apple News because they push all the garbage shit to my phone, which I get so mad about. I'm like, stop sending me this shit. They send me political shit. They send me COVID shit. I'm like, I don't want to hear about it. If a new camera released, send me that. They said that, oh, don't take advice from Sweden. Sweden's doing a horrible job with COVID. I'm like, are they though? Because I don't know. I hear a lot of good shit about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't believe anybody. You literally can't believe anybody.
I try not to watch TV.
I'll tell you, I'm really curious.
So
I'm really
hard.
curious the cases and death counts in Russia and China. Super curious
How come
that.
we haven't heard a word of that?
Because they won't release that information. I'm sure they have been fucking slaughtered over there. Think about that.
We'll
they don't.
never find out.
No.
There was none. You step outside, firing squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the first scary, like actually terrifying? It looked like it almost made it seem like it was a virus that was actually going to literally kill everybody. When they were showing videos of people in China when it first hit. People in China not knowing what to do. They were walking around in hazmat suits, spraying buildings down with disinfectant foam and shit like that.
I just had no clue what to fucking do.
That was like a wild sight to be seen. So that you sit there and you're like, what is this?
What the
This
hell
is
is going on?
And then you start seeing it hit landfall, and you kind of like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should stay home for a little while. But then as
You question it, yeah.
as things go on, you're just like, I got to get back to some type of normalcy.
Yeah.
I can't stop my whole
How long
fucking
can I
life
stay
from
in the
this.
fucking house?
Well,
bottled
dude,
up
think about it like this right now. Like, I'm a single man right now. The dating apps are garbage. Like, it's basically everybody's leftovers on there. I hate it. I was telling John before, there was a girl that I matched with 2 months ago. Watch, I date this girl now. It's like in 3 months.
You know she's gonna watch this and be like,
fucking hysterical.
"No, he's talking about me."
Dude, match with her.
She'll be honored. Oh my God, you talked about.
Maybe.
Match with
Maybe.
no names. Matched with her 2 months ago, right? So we start talking and she goes, "Here's my number." I said, "All right." So I text her. Literally doesn't answer me. I'm like,
Really?
Okay. 2 days go by. I like telling people exactly what they did.
Yeah.
When
you called it out.
So I call
man.
everybody out. I called another chick out like a month ago.
Right.
Called her out on her bullshit. I call everybody out on their shit.
Flaky.
Everybody, all these, I don't know what it is. They get fucking shy. They're great and golden up until the day that we're supposed to do something, and then they get, oh, I got something else to do. Like they get, it's like, so I'll say, it's just fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking stupid. It's gonna sound real sexist if I say,
in
You gotta start taking a down
2020.
payment.
God, I'm so,
for real, like my
thank
shoes.
God, I'm in a relationship. Thank
Wait,
you,
so
God.
so you're gonna like this. So she goes, doesn't hit me up. So I call her on her bullshit. I go, hey, yeah, you gave me your number. I texted you. You never answered me. I said, what is that? I said, I feel like I'm getting ghosted. She responds with, oh my God, I don't want you to feel like I ghosted you. I don't feel like you did ghost me. Like this is you actively saying that you definitely did. She goes, I started talking to a guy a little more seriously 20 minutes before me. You just gave me your fucking number.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
And then I re-downloaded all the dating apps. I matched with her 2 days ago.
Come on.
Right? So wait. So
Come on. What
she
a
sent me the like.
cheese
It was on Hinge. She sent me the like. So I messaged her back. I go, so we just gonna try this again? I said, do you remember where we left off? Or I said, I guess the
Classic.
I guess the other fucking guy didn't pan
Yeah,
out.
Didn't pan it. Oh
And
my
another
God.
and another one. Chick in the fitness industry, or I guess ex-fitness industry. John knows.
Love those.
John knows. Yeah. I've told John the story already.
Yes.
So chick
You should know better by now.
I don't date in the fitness industry. This is why I don't. She just reaffirmed my decisions.
Go ahead.
So here comes your man to come lick your tattoo again. Yo, bro,
Homie.
enough,
My boy.
dude. Kenji,
Come
stop.
on, you bloodsucker.
So we were talking for like 2 weeks straight. All of a sudden, I said, hey, you want to go to the gym because it's common ground for both of us. It's easy. I said, do you want to go to Bev's? Do you want to go to your gym? You want to work out at my garage gym? Whatever you want to do. She goes, oh, we can't leave Kenji out. She goes, so why don't we go over there? Why don't we go to your gym? I said, perfect.
Love
That's
that,
fucking
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, you thinking about the homie? This is great.
Big throwing a dog in there. I love
Yeah.
it.
We're talking for a few more days. We had plans to do it Saturday. What's up, babe?
No,
What's up?
he knows you're talking about him.
We had plans to hang out on a Saturday, and then all of a sudden, bro, I hit her. I told the plan was to hit her up after I got out of Kenji's class. I hit her up. Nothing.
Nothing.
She watches every single story I put up.
Ugh.
Puts up a selfie of her own.
Just no reply.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here basically with my fucking dick in my hand. I'm like this. I'm like, really? This is how you going? This is how you're gonna sit here?
You know what that is, right?
So wait.
ahead,
It gets
you know.
better. I want you to say it at the
Go
end.
ahead, go ahead.
So then, she messaged me back 4 hours later.
Rude.
She goes, "Oh, say just finished driving." I go, "Where the fuck did you go?"
The voices that he's putting on this are like,
Oh,
Forget
just
it,
finished
yeah.
driving. Yay! Like, took a selfie. Apple cider
Right.
donuts.
got
Yay!
it. Yep.
So I go, where? I said, okay, where'd you go? She goes, oh, went to this bakery in it was like a fucking town over from her.
She might just be a real shit driver.
Girlfriend, what are you doing?
What, is your car in the shop? You take the bus? So you had to catch all the bus routes? So whatever. So I didn't answer. Didn't answer 4 days. And then she's watching every story I put up.
Right.
So now me, I know I'm never gonna get with this chick. So now it's like just not even just get with her like that.
Couldn't
Get with
hold
her.
back.
Get with her to
Yeah.
work out.
First
get
date land.
Get with her in general. So now it's like eating at me. It's just like every time I put a story up, she's like one of the first ones to watch it. And every time I see her name pop up, it's just like taking a bite out of my soul. It's like, yo, call her out on her shit. Call her out on her shit. So, transparent Nick, I messaged her and I said, hey, so here's the deal. I said, I'm really transparent. I said, and I'm very busy with work. I'm very busy with taking care of the dog. I'm very busy with my podcast. I have a lot going on, which is not to say that everyone doesn't have their own shit going on.
Sure.
I said, however, when I set time aside for another individual that I'm interested in, I said, I expect that to be reciprocated in terms of you follow through with the plans and actually text me back.
Right.
In a reasonable amount of
A
time.
little respect.
Exactly. I said, I feel like I got blown off. You can say it differently, and maybe there's a reason why this happened.
Right.
But I said, I feel like I need to just put it out there and just tell you what. Never answered me. Damn. Never answered me. Bro, 8 hours later, and I put up more stories. She watched all of them.
Yeah.
Unfollowed her on everything. Of course, she unfollowed me the next day. I deleted her off everything. I deleted the numbers. I don't fuck around, man.
You have
It's
to.
a purge. When I'm not talking to a girl anymore, I have friends who are like, why do you delete everything? Because I don't fucking want them around.
Yeah.
That type of toxic energy, that type of person that can't even just text somebody and go, hey, this week doesn't work for me, or I don't want to do this today. Maybe let's do it next week. I'm cool with that. Just be real, so I don't waste my fucking time.
Right. There's only so much time that we have to spend with people. I mean, you guys are a little younger than me, so as you get a little older, you realize that the time that you spend in that 24-hour time frame is precious.
I'm glad I'm glad I've realized it way
you
ahead
hit
of the
it,
cusp.
bro.
Oh, yeah.
You're very wise in your years, Nick. These women nowadays, I haven't spent much time on dating apps or anything like that, but but I will tell you this.
Have a conversation with this neon light, and that's pretty much the conversation that you have with the girls on the dating apps.
Right. Well, this goes for guys and girls. It's not just girls. Social media has created an atmosphere where dating and showing someone attention can literally last for an hour.
Yep.
And the focus then gets shifted. So she might have given her number out to literally 10 people in that hour.
Oh, we're talking about the first girl.
Yeah,
we're talking about the first girl.
And just stop talking to everybody else after that, because that one person that she did give the number to said something that got her attention, and it's amazing how the attention focus just flip flops.
Do you like bananas? Because I want to peel you off, like some fucking corny ass line. She's like, "Oh my god, that's husband right there."
It's just attention. That's all it is.
Wild.
And it's the endorphins start to pop. It's a chemical thing. Like, we all know it. Like, you get this attention, you get a little, all of a sudden, like, you feel that energy again, and it's sick.
Excitement, interest.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's really sad.
Well, the most exciting part is the beginning. So
Yeah.
there was a girl I
What
said.
do they call it? Isn't there a book written after
Honeymoon-
that?
the
Yeah, the
honeymoon
honeymoon
phase.
phase.
Honeymoon
Right,
phase,
right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was. This is why I don't go on the dating apps, because I'm looking for something a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Real?
Real.
Yeah.
That's one way of putting it. Something that's organic and that doesn't feel forced. Like I have to
meeting
be
someone on the
quippy.
internet kind of sucks.
Oh, it fucking sucks right now. But where else am I gonna go?
Right.
Gyms, everyone's got a mask. Every chick looks hot until she takes the mask off, and it's
She's got a face like me and RJ.
I'm not a good-looking
She got a
girl
full
at
beard.
all.
she takes the hat off. It's RJ's head and John's mouth
What a vision. My goodness.
with sexy eyes.
You have a number or?
Yeah. John.
Frankenstein, right?
Yeah. Stop.
It's just like I'll talk to these girls, and it just, my boys will go, oh, you have like hundreds of matches and what, or like whatever. I'm just like, yeah, okay, but let's go through them. There was a girl recently I showed fucking Tyler. She messaged me, hey. I go, hey, what's going on? How's your day going? Good, you. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a
Here
fucking
we
bummer.
go.
I said, I'll give it one more. I said, I'll give it. Ready? I said, I'll give it one more shot.
Right. See
I
what
said,
kind
my
of-
day's been great. I said, taking care of the pup, just getting a workout in. I said, I dealt with a couple clients today for video shoots, blah, blah, blah. I said, and then her response was, wow, sounds like you had a day. I said, cold-blooded Nick came out again. I commented back. I just said, it's weird. It says in your profile, you're looking for a relationship. I said, but you talk like you're at a 5th grade level. I said, you need to actually have a conversation if you want to get to know somebody. I said, perfect
shit.
grammar usually helps too.
Damn.
Like, I don't know. And then but whether she saw it or not, I unmatched her. I got rid of her. Like, it's like such a waste of fucking time.
That was a Scud missile you sent her. You realize that, right? Like,
yeah. It's just, you know what? It was the 20 before her that got me mad, and I had to launch it on someone.
I get it. Listen, intelligence is very hard to come by nowadays. And that's both in both communities, both male and female. Let's call it what it is. Let's start on males. Let's just talk about males
Please,
for a
because
minute.
they're so
Let's
fucking
just talk-
stupid.
Find me a guy in his 20s, maybe even in his, I don't even want to say the age range, But finding a guy nowadays that has a sack of balls is few and far between.
You just gotta go around patting everybody on the sack. Just going, no.
We have a community of weak people. And men don't do traditional men things anymore. They don't open doors for women. They're not respectful. They just don't look out for females the way they did when I was brought up. Like I was taught a certain way by my mom and my grandmothers and
Single
my
mom here,
grandfathers and my dad. Like you treat people a certain way and you get that respect back. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know who's been teaching them how to treat people. I don't know who's been teaching them how to talk to people, but that value system is gone. And then you take that value system into your dating world and you're a big piece of shit. And then it becomes this viral tendency through social media. COVID made it even worse because nobody was out there meeting people. They had a date through social media. And now everybody's bitter. It's just, I got
bitter.
so many of my friends that are like, oh, you fucking girl. You're one of them.
I'm bitter.
You're very angry.
I'm
and
so
blame you.
because here's the issue too, because when I talk about like when I finally say that I want to go out with a girl, like really go out with a girl, exactly what you said. I'm bringing her out to dinner. I'm opening the fucking car doors for her. Like I'm being a and 99% of females haven't been treated this way.
Nah, they don't
but
appreciate
I'm
it at all.
still getting treated like shit for being a nice guy. But when I act like a scumbag, especially in my mid 20s, I was still.
Go figure.
I was in a long-term relationship for about 4.5 years for when I was younger, like 18 to like 21, 22-ish.
Right.
And then after that, I had to start dating again. And when I started dating, I started treating girls with like real crazy respect, taking them out, this and that. Blah, blah.
Yeah, you gotta treat them right.
And guess what? Then I started feeling some kind of way because I kept getting shit on by these fucking girls. Because even though I was treating them right, they were still going back to the assholes. So then I started acting like an asshole. And guess who had more girls than he could deal with? And then I transitioned back because I'm like, now I'm getting to my late 20s. I want to actually meet somebody of substance. I want to meet somebody that I treat these girls well. And what happens again? I get walked on. So now I'm getting fucking tired of it again because I have limited time. And it's like, well, if all you want to do is have sex and that's all you want to do,
So be it.
let me know.
Yeah.
Because that'll save me a lot of money and a lot of fucking time.
It's funny that you say that, though. It's amazing how open.
Well, it's easier. It's easier to do that than take somebody out
Both
on a
male
fucking
and
date.
females are way more open to that nowadays and just be very upfront. Like, is this about sex or not? Like, and there's that communication that never, ever happened before. Like, that was just never discussed. Like, now that's like in the beginning of the conversation. Like, it's weird. You know, my son is 24. I have 3 kids, 9, 13 girls.
Here he goes fucking lying again.
Fuck you, man. I actually have 3 kids, I swear. So my girls are 9 and 13. And
1, 2, and 3.
they're precious. And my son's 24. So I had my son when I was a little younger.
Yeah.
And I've always preached to him, maybe sometimes too much, but don't focus on a relationship until your life is organized. And until you're ready to take on a relationship, you got a career, you know, you've got your place to live, you've got a car, you've got a foundation for your life. That's when a relationship can work and actually work right. If you're not ready for that shit, and there's a million people that are out there trying to do this, they're trying to establish this relationship with someone. They have no career, they have no job, they're still living with their parents. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but focus on you. You know, like I'm kind of telling you that right now. I hate to tell you that, but because you got a lot of fantastic things going on right now, and you don't have time for some of these shady chicks to come into your life and screw things up.
That's exactly
You
why
and
I
Kenji
stay
don't need that.
No, that's why I stay single. That's why I got. Listen, that's why I got my man.
Yeah,
I got my man because he's dependable. I hang out with him. He's with me dude, literally, he hears the fucking. If he heard the keys right now, if he heard just a jingle,
Where we
he's
going?
up. He's like, yo, where we out? We out? We going? And he's like, he runs down the stairs and he looks at me. He's like, yo, you're leaving though, right? We're going. That's what. That's the type of shit I want. I want somebody that's going to be like that.
And you will find that female that will
I'm
run
not-
right with you
and I'm
down
not in
the
a
stairs.
rush.
It'll happen.
I want to make that clear. I'm not in a rush. I
don't
don't
have to be.
personally give a fuck.
He's too good looking to be in a rush.
Okay.
let me lose some weight. Let me lose some weight. Let me get my
don't need
jaw
to
back.
lose any weight.
Let me get my jaw back. But literally, like that's my whole thing. Is like everyone acts like they're a rush. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I've been single for over a year and a half again. Haven't hung out with anybody. Like because then COVID hit and it's been me, my business, and then the dog. That is my priorities. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do and build this motherfucker up. The thing is though, it's
It's building.
little by little, man. Like,
Yeah, it's coming.
listen. If somebody wants to come in, they got to understand that value. They got to understand that I got my shit together. Yeah, you know, I still live at home. Guess what? I started a fucking pretty big business with a lot of business expenses right off the gut, and it'll start compounding on itself and building over the time. But for the time being, I had to take that L. The L of staying home when you're 29 years old still.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There isn't, but at my age, it's like at that point, I talk to my mom about this all the time. My mom's my best friend. Love my mom. She's the shit.
Now that's solid.
She's the shit.
I love hearing that.
She is. We talk about fucking everything. I talk to her about all these crazy girls.
Why would you leave that?
Okay, why would I leave that?
Fucking, I mean, when you're ready, you're going to be ready, and
Yeah.
the time will be right. But
it's nice
if you're
to-
not forced to leave.
I'm not forced to leave.
Why?
But
You know what I'm saying?
Because
It's like-
as a 29-year-old man that wants some privacy and be able to invite some girls over and be able to do my thing,
I get it.
This and that. I don't want to have to be like, oh, when does mom come home? You know, because listen, even when I've had girlfriends, like serious girlfriends that I've been dating for like a year or so, she's like, door open in the house.
Oh,
You
wow.
don't. She's like, you're not in this house.
Mommy doesn't want to hear the bed squeaking, huh?
Sleeping overnight. Sleeping overnight. She's like, you don't want, you know, it's disrespectful to me, she says, if you close that door. She's like, I don't have anybody over. I don't have, she's not dating anybody anyway. But if she
Yeah.
was, I'd be like, yo, let me know.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Yeah, you give mom some privacy.
I'll stay out the fucking house.
You gotta train Kenji to bark when your mom's within 10 feet of your door.
God help us.
I said, I can't tell you that Kenji won't be happy with if you bring anybody home. But I said,
Kenji's going to eat somebody.
Yeah.
so for me, it's just, it's more of like, at that stage of my life, I'd like to be doing it, but I don't have to. So for the time being, it is what it is.
Yeah.
People
But
forget-
I am not. No, you're good, man.
Yeah.
I am in zero fucking rush to get into a serious relationship and marriage, especially when everyone's jumping into the lifeboat with each other, acting like the Titanic's going down. And I can't wait for them to wake up in the next 2 years and go, wow,
What did I do?
This was a colossal fucking mistake.
Yep.
That costs more money and time than rushing in and just being like, I need to get married right now. Right.
I've been divorced twice, so I get it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Reach out to Rick Collins. Get yourself a good prenup, and then do whatever the fuck you want.
Poor Rick. Rick, we're putting you all kinds of business your way, brother.
I don't fuck with Rick anymore, and I'll tell you why I don't fuck with Rick. Ever since he's
boy.
been on this show, I've needed legal advice on a bi-weekly basis. From getting
Rick.
pulled over
That's
and from
Rick.
dealing with it. And then I said I shouldn't have had you on. Life was great. I didn't have a single legal question in years.
Now
And
you're
all of a sudden,
getting
you come on the podcast. I got an asshole cop that gives me 2 tickets. I got a bunch of fucking things going on, and I got to call you every 3 seconds.
Rick really knows his shit, man. He
Rick.
really does. He's been in the supplement industry for years. I mean,
He wants to come on. He wants to come on round 2. I can't wait.
Talk about
Oh,
a
yeah.
power attorney, man.
Oh yeah,
I mean, seriously.
he knows it. He knows
Listen,
his shit.
Unfortunately, I've been in a few courtrooms in my day. You know, I've done a little time. But
You went-
that guy,
You went to college.
yeah, I went to college. Yeah,
that's it.
I went to
That's it.
special college, special federal college. Anyway, you know, being in that courtroom, you want to have a strong presence with you to defend you. You know, because sometimes you do things wrong and sometimes you don't. And when you don't, like, you want to make sure they fucking know about it. Like, I didn't do this. Like, and you know, having Rick or somebody, you know, one of Rick's very close friends, Anthony Giordano, he's my attorney, and he's just a smaller version of Rick. You know, he's just a beast, you know, and that type of attorney and that type of presence brings authority. You know, they're authority figures. And whether we like to believe it or not, that weans people in a direction, you know, in a decision. And I love the fact that, you know, that one, my lawyer's so powerful and he's so aggressive. But just think of how Rick can, you know, bold for it if he's representing your company or something like that, or representing you. You got a level of confidence that you got the right guy with you. You know, he takes care of himself. He's powerful.
Fucking Superman.
He's a
Yeah.
beast. He's a beast. Always been for quite some times.
Yeah, I fucks with Rick. Rick's the homie.
He's coming on again.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna come on
absolutely.
again. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He'll come on
Make
again.
us question
So
everything we
much.
do.
So much to talk about.
Oh, he
with
was
that.
great.
I mean, it's incredible.
We had so many sound bites from him. It was crazy.
I bet.
Oh yeah.
He was phenomenal.
He gets some quirky ones in there, I'm sure. Wow.
So talk to me. Talk to me about how you could plug yourself. New Day. Talk to the people.
Wow. New Day. So New Day Consultant, as you know, it's my baby. It combines my career as a personal trainer and as a lifestyle coach, and it incorporates the consumption of cannabis. So if you're a fitness enthusiast or someone that wants to get involved in fitness and you also make poor lifestyle choices, I'm the guy to call. Like there's a way to structure your day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed with healthy decisions and the gym. You know, maybe it's not the gym, maybe it's in your house or whatever that is. Am I going to do one-on-one training with you? No, I'm far past that. But am I going to be your coach and am I going to advise you on how to do things that are in your best interest? Absolutely. And there's tons of people that need help with getting medical cards, learning what the dispensary is all about, learning the methods of inhalation of cannabis and what the options are, drawbacks, side effects, all of them, legalization, amounts that you can carry with you. All of this is encompassed in the consultation that I can either bring to your living room or we can do remotely. But the website would probably be up, I'd say, within a week or two.
You have the video.
Yeah, the video that you did is amazing. You know, that's going to be the...
It was cool. Super classy interview setting, him sitting down, a little boom mic action overhead.
Fun.
It was nice.
Fun. Yeah.
Clean.
I felt like we were doing a little bit of a porn in the beginning when we first got there. I'm like, are we filming? And they're like, but
What are these lights
not like
doing
I've done
here?
one of those before. I'm just saying.
I've never recorded myself.
that was
I've
the-
never.
That was the other college.
Shut up.
I opened the door. All right, Buck Nasty on the set.
I'm like, what the hell's going on right now?
My son's here. Tell him to wait outside.
was-
Strip.
That's
He
scene
was
3.
dying. He was like, man, your buddies are funny, man. Yeah, we like to have fun. But yeah, that video kind of, you know, it sets the tone for what we're trying to accomplish. And
Says enough.
it says enough. It's just a smigget to tell you, listen, we've been conned for years. We're not supposed to be drinking. We're not supposed to be smoking. We're not supposed to be taking prescription drugs. Why we get this stuff slammed down our throat, it's beyond me. We know it's money driven. We know it's the powers that be that do it. But we also know that we're not that stupid anymore. And we have tremendous options at our disposal. So that's what the company's really all about. You know, it's about making a connection with someone that can help you.
Cool.
So the website, hopefully you'll just have a quick Google form in there. It'll process some information. It'll give me the ability to get on the phone with them and actually dissect and find out what exactly that person needs.
Wow, a personal touch? Like actually
Yeah.
speaking to somebody
Yeah,
and not
I
just
love
typing to
talking on
them?
the phone, bro. I love talking on the phone, yeah. So I'll do like a 20, 30-minute initial consultation for nothing.
Yeah.
And just feel them out, find out what exactly is going on. I do know for a fact because I have some clients coming up now that are in need of support in finding a gym and finding a trainer. So I think I'm going to add that into the consultation as like a part of the Chinese menu, so to say. Cool. Because every client's going to be different. You know, the needs are going to be different. So if you need to know what the local gym is, I'd be more than happy to go there and dissect and sign you up at the gym and then go through the process to find out what's the best trainer for that person.
Yeah. If they want to get killed Dorian style, you hit John up. Like
There's so
you got a big network, man.
100%. And I think if a trainer, I'm sure you would agree with this, a trainer nowadays has no accountability. They have accountability to the client only. And if there was another checkpoint, like maybe my fitness consultant is here with me and you need to answer to him, not me, that trainer is going to put forth a lot more effort into making sure that your goals are being accomplished because there's another person there to make sure that happens, and that would be me. So does the person have the credentials? Do they have the skill set? You know, do they have the wherewithal to be able to handle your personality? These are all these things that need to get dissected, and that's part of, my job. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like personal training.
On steroids.
Yes, well said, bro.
That's
I
it.
like that a
That's
lot.
it.
Yeah, 2020 version of that. Yeah, well said. So we'll see. But it's I didn't want to have to do this. It kind of just happened on its own. And when the cafe was closed down and people were just making so many bad mistakes, and I went down to this dispensary. I'm like, man, this has to happen. It's like the market's telling us that too. I mean, cannabis stocks and everything that's happening with that. I mean, if you're not invested in some type of cannabis growth stock, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, those are probably the best investments at this point, aside from some of the big techs, but that's another conversation.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
That's
another,
it,
for
that's
another
it.
day.
I'm not the
That's-
guy you want to
that's
talk about
podcast
that.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you walk in here with a Rolex.
Hopefully, yeah. That'd be nice. I'm not a flashy guy, though. I don't like Rolexes.
No.
I don't like watches at all. Never wore a watch.
Yeah, I wear my watch in it, my Apple
Yeah, me
Watch in
neither.
and out.
Apple Watch.
I just started wearing my fucking ring again. Like I have a ring my mom bought me a couple years back, and I'm like, it's all right. It's pretty cool.
Rings are cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Rings are cute. That's what you just hit me with.
They're
Little fucking bracelet. I feel cool.
I have nothing on it. I have nothing around my neck.
I wear the
I'm
same
Yeah.
shit every day, man. I wear the same clothes every day.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same.
I have
by the way.
I have 8 pairs of these black Under Armour shorts.
Yep.
I have my Pair of Thieves boxers. Pair of Thieves, send the check.
Good luck with that
And I
one.
just wear gym clothes. Like that's because I want to be
Yeah.
comfy.
Same here.
99% of the day I want to be comfy.
I have my my Growlfits. You know what a Growfit is,
Yeah,
right?
all gray.
All gray. Yeah, you're great. You're great.
Yeah, all gray.
Everybody's got the short Growfits and the long Growfits. that's the common thing nowadays for gym
Yeah, everybody's
guys.
got. You gotta have at least one. At least one
Yep.
hanging in the wardrobe.
That's right. That's right. But I'm not into dressing in suits and ties anymore. I did that forever. Like,
Yeah.
did that for a long time. I am completely never doing that again.
Yeah, well, we can't fit those fucking arms in a
That's a whole different problem.
Stop. You're blowing me up. That
You wake up in the morning, it fits. All right, fucking good. I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's good for me.
Listen,
Yeah.
throw your IG up there. Like, what's
Yes.
your IG, Instagram?
So it's RJ Del Giorno. Yeah, so it's at RJ Del Giorno. New Day Consultant will be on my personal page, and your video and the website will be out soon.
Do our thing.
Yeah, we'll do our thing, pumping it out.
And on that note, I'm gonna have John kick this outro.
So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week's episode of The Voice.
And Rizzle's joined by our man.
RJ Del Giorno.
Let's get it, baby. Peace.
Sir, all right.